So happy to be back here. Michael Check. So glad to see familiar faces in the chat. I apologize for how long it's been. I think this is... Did I even do one after the new year? I think I did one in like January. It's been forever, but now it's the year of the dragon. So we're back. I know I always say I want to do these way more frequently, but it's like... I don't know, guys. I'm not going to sit here and give you all these excuses. It's just like... I'm just one guy. I'm just one guy. I just can't do it. Like, I can't do it as frequently as I would love to do. But I gotta tell you, I've been reading this book. You know, I should grab it. Hang on 1 second. I want to be able to show it off to you guys. Okay. Alright, let me switch to face cam here. You guys ready? Switching to face cam. Jump scare warning. Are we recording? Yeah, we're recording. Jump scare. Boo! What's up, baby thugs? What's up, bugs and baby thugs? Hella fresh warning, more like. What's happening, everybody? Long time no see. Dude, return to the Beetle Gad. Return to... What's up, Transcendency? Donna Brand, Dolphin Dots. Harris. It's like my name. Oh, God. We already got bots in the chat? Come on, man. This is like my first time in a month. Mods. Oh, Limpy McSquishy. That's a great name. Limpy McSquishy, thank you for the sub. They gifted a sub to Count J-Bach. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Why broccoli? I would attend art class today, but I just did my practice today, did my first hand. It was really hard. Wow, that's really good. Did you send that in the Discord chat? I would really like to see that. Congratulations. I've been drawing like a maniac myself. This is for all the art. Thank you, Limpy McSquishy. I appreciate it. Thank you for the gift sub. That was awesome. It feels good to be back on here. What pens do I use? Oh, what up, Casey Green? Damn, dude, we got a fucking celeb in the chat. Okay, I'll show you what pens I use. I know a magician doesn't reveal his secrets, but I don't really care. I'll show you. Okay, actually, full disclosure, I'm trying to find something better. So I actually don't love these, but I got a whole pack of them and I've been using them the whole time, so I'm going to continue. I use just the standard Micron pen. I use the 005, like just the regular Micron pens, which you can pick up at any Michael's or, you know, any craft. You can get them at Walmart probably. I do love microns, but I'll tell you what, and I don't know if it's the frequency in which I'm drawing or it's because I grip them like an ogre, but I just find that they don't like survive very long, or not as long as I would like. I find that the nib gets worn down really quick, not even that they run out of ink, but that the nib gets damaged, which in some ways does add a little bit of character to the line work. If I'm like critiquing the like my own comics, like I'll look at the line work and there's a little bit of like grit to them, because it's usually because I'm using a Micron pen, which is almost like halfway fried. But I don't love that they run out that fast, and honestly sometimes when I'm drawing, because they're kind of in that gritty thing, like if I'm trying to draw a really small line, they'll accidentally like do something I don't want them to do. So I don't love these. I don't get my full bill of like, you guys, you gotta run to your store and get these right now. But if you want to draw like me, this is what I'm using. And then I also have been using, I don't know the name of these pens because they're all actually, oh yeah, no, yeah, I do. I have one still in the pack here. I use these Bemoji, called Bemoji. looks like a Japanese brand to my eye. I got like a pack of them that come in different sizes. Some of them are brushes, and some of them are more like fine tip. And I've been using these a bit to kind of like fill in lines, and also when I'm outlining the boxes on my comics, I like when the newer ones, or the ones that I've been doing the last year, have a slightly like thicker line work or something, and so those produce kind of a thicker line. I'm trying to see if I can find some example here. Well, let me tell you guys, for one thing, I have a lot of comics in here that are not released yet. I'll talk about that in a sec. Casey, I would really like to talk to you some more, my guy. I know you were also a Comics Kingdom family member. I'm kind of like new to that scene there, which is why I have a lot of backlog material. A lot of my comics, I have like 20 comics that are going to be going on Comics Kingdom first, and then they go on my other socials. So that's why I have a lot in here right now. But anyway, so I'd love to chat with you more. Once the stream is over, I'd love to chat with you more. Let's see. Illithid Man of Cheese. Beetle Moses, can you please start saving the art classes? I would love to attend, but they're usually when I'm asleep. I have fantastic news for you. They are all saved. They're all saved. They're all backlogged. I have just a Beetle Moses YouTube channel. If you type in !YouTube in the chat, it'll drop the link there, but it's just Beetle Moses on YouTube, and you'll find a full, I think there's close to like 60 backlogged art classes in full. There's no editing. It's like it's literally as if you were watching one of the streams. I just won't be able to interact with your chat live. So, YouTube doesn't work? Whoops. But you also just announced that you're no longer doing a comic with CK. Interesting. I would like to hear more about that as well. But yeah, we'll definitely chat some more. I want to talk to you about that. So anyway, guys, been hard at work, doing a lot of drawing, a lot of writing, also it's tax season, so I've kind of been doing some just like busy freelance artist, baby, sort of like other shit like that, and and I've also been reading this book, which is kind of why I almost guilt tripped myself into like I really got to do an art class. I've been reading this book called The Art Spirit by Robert Henry. I'm almost done with it. Close to the end there. Really good. It was written all the way back in 1910, something like that. 1910. Let's see. Copyright 1923. Yeah, so 100 years old, this book. But this guy Robert Henry he was a painter, kind of like a painter and whoa, Dolphin Dots! Thank you for the Prime sub. Subscribe for 4 months. Let's go. Whoa, that looks like me. Does it look like me? He's a painter, fine art painter, but I would say like 25% of the book is like technical, like really specific technical, like painting, like try this technique when you're painting, somebody's eyes or somebody's hair, try these techniques. And 75% of it is more is like the philosophy of being an artist, being an art teacher, critiquing art, and just like where you got to get your head at, kind of, as like a full-time artist, which is funny. Like I'm on one hand, like obviously, I'm a webcomic artist, which like I'm not trying to overblow what is required of me technically to do my thing, but as I'm getting more like antsy, I love webcomics, they're not going to stop, but like I do also want to do some long form stuff. I want to get to more legacy material. I just want to like level up my whole shit, basically. And I'm a full-time artist. I mean, love it or hate it, that is what I'm doing. I am doing full-time art, memes or otherwise. And so I've just been picking up some really, there's like the way that it's written, by the way, is also, it's a series of, so this guy who's a painter, he was a painter and also an art teacher, and he was kind of like a really renowned, accredited art teacher, like just very good at teaching, you know what I mean? Which some people are good at art but not good at teaching. Some people are good at teaching but not good at art. This guy happened to be a good artist and a good teacher. And so this book is kind of like vignettes. It's like a series of journal entries and letters that this guy, Robert Henry, wrote to his students. Some of them are like letters of critique. Some of them are just like something to think about. And some of the some of it's broken down into these like really little just like paragraphs or chapters, and then some of them are like long, like, you know, several pages. But there's a lot of really interesting stuff to think about. I got it off Thrift Books for like $4. I had seen somebody recommend it on Twitter, and I was like, yeah, it looks interesting to me. And some really interesting stuff in here. Some stuff that I probably would like to bring up while we're talking today. But it's also been a while since we've just done an art class in general. And as I was reading this and just reading how committed to his students and to the study of art that Robert Henry was, it just got me thinking, like, I have not done a class in a month. And then since the last one, it's probably been a month before that. So I was kind of just feeling like, not to sound melodramatic, but I don't want you guys to feel like I'm letting you down with the art class thing. Like, I see how active you guys are in the Discord and posting your art, which just is amazing. That's just like that's all. I love to see that. I love to see, and I also just got. Should I read this? Maybe I should. Sorry to Josephine if this is maybe something that you wanted to keep in private, but I won't say your last name. But it means a lot to me, so I want to read it out. And I just got this letter in the mail, an actual letter. I got it in my PO box, and it was really meaningful. It just really spoke to me. So I'm gonna read it out loud. All right. Sorry, I see what you guys are saying. Collar's so open, check out his chest. I'm going to be doing homework at the same time as art class, so hopefully I can keep up. I think what we're drawing today is something really easy. We're going to draw something for Year the Dragon. We're just going to draw this cute dragon cartoon, which I think is going to be really easy to do. But it also will come out good, and I think it leaves a lot of room for like details and fun stuff. So don't worry about that. I think you'll be able to keep up. Dolphin Dot says, I have a class at 3:30, so I'll have to leave. But I'd love to see the streams happening. Me too. Here, so Josephine sent me a bunch of really cool stuff, a bunch of stickers and other stuff, and she also wrote me this really nice letter, which I'm just going to read out. It says, to Harris Beetle Moses, your comics and general online presence has inspired me to get back into art, and the Cold Cuts podcast has been a major contributor to my ongoing brain rot. I know that I can always be kept up with whatever weird, esoteric, niche internet subculture shit you have been getting into. My vocabulary has been permanently altered by your schizo shenanigans. Unironically, thank you for inspiring me. There was this one time on one of your streams where you said something along the lines of, there are few things that you leave behind when you die, and even less that gives people thoughts into your mind. Art is one of those things. It was an offhanded comment, but that line has been ringing in my head for the past several months. Not a day has gone by without me thinking about that. That one line has inspired me to start my own one-man black metal band, which is so based, as well as inspired me to get into writing my own comic book. Amazing. Amazing. This might sound melodramatic, but that one line might have changed the course of my life. Thank you for being a cool dude, and sorry for the yapping session, Josephine. P.S. I sent you 2 little plastic dudes. I hope you cherish them and keep them safe. And so they did send me 2 little plastic dudes. They sent me one Miami Heat, Bernie from the Miami Heat, which is also I don't know if they knew I was a Miami Heat fan or that's just a coincidence, but love it. And they also sent me this little army guy to remind me to have that. I'm a soldier, baby. I'm a soldier. So yeah, that seriously, like, I saw that and it made me emotional. It meant a lot. Like a lot of I'm keeping it right here. They also made an amazing drawing, but I have it hung up here, and I can't take the pins out of it. But they drew a really cool drawing of the Beetle character and the YOLO Swag, like Cream of Dog character. So, yeah, that was like super nice, above and beyond. I got a bunch of really cool stuff in my P.O. box this last visit. I don't know. I think it's just because I made another post about it, but I got like a ton of cool presents and like amazing stuff. And that letter was one thing in particular that I got that really like just stood out to me. It was really thoughtful and nice and just made me feel really good. And like but it did make me also think, like, it made me feel a little bad because I'm like, I haven't done an art class in a long time. I haven't been able to talk to you guys about drawing or illustrating or the process or anything like that. And I did have I still like to stream. I still love doing this, but I do feel like as my schedule has gotten a little bit more like packed, and I'm like organizing my time differently, I just am finding that I don't know if I necessarily have what it takes to be one of these like daily streamers, like some of these guys that are just really big streamers and are doing it all the time. It's just not in me to do it like that, but I do feel definitely indebted to all of you guys that watch it, and so I don't want you guys to feel like I'm not doing them. So I am going to try to be more conscious of getting them done on a more, maybe not like an organized set schedule, but just somewhat more regularly, so it's not so few and far between. And all the VODs are being recorded, so if you can't watch the whole thing or you feel like you're getting something out of them and you want to watch some of the backlogged ones, those are all on my YouTube channel. So anyway, all this is to say, thank you guys just in advance so much for being here, for supporting me, for supporting my comics, for watching the stream. Everybody here is a Beetle head, which is amazing. And yeah, that, like, what else can I say? I love you guys. So where is... Uh-oh. Did I put it back in here? Yeah. Okay. So I figured we might as well just get started with, like, drawing rather than me yapping for the whole thing. Yeah, what's up, Docs? Let's Beetle Nation, babe. All right, let's just get started with this drawing. I will periodically... I forgot to import this thing so you can be looking at it, but I'll periodically hold it up so you guys can get kind of like a frame of reference of what it looks like here. Let me take a little sip of tea. One of the interesting things, so here, by the way, actually here's what we'll do first. I'm going to do a loose map of where everything's going so you can kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like. So here's the tail. It's going to loop around like this. You do not have to copy this part. This is just so you can get like visually where everything's going to be going. All right, this. I'm gonna make this look a lot better. Eyes, okay. Eyes. Okay. And got it. Okay. So. And these are the wings. Okay. What I'm going to do now is just bring this opacity of this layer way down so it's just like a loose. Let me also move this over a bit. Okay, I can probably bring that down more. Nice. Okay. And new layer. Okay. Whoops. Where's the pen? Or the brush? Okay, awesome. Bring this down slightly. Okay, let's see. Oh, Beetle Moses. Do you ever feel like you're running out of ideas for webcomics since you do them so often? Yeah, all the time. But that comes in waves. Like, what I mean to say is, like, that's just part of it. I'll get several... You guys don't have to draw what I just did, by the way, but as I'm drawing, it's going to help you kind of map out, like, how big things need to be, so you'll know when I'm drawing the eye and the hand and all this other crap. So, Yeah, I mean, there's periods of time, like even right now, I was just like, oh god, I gotta come up with some new ideas. But it's like, usually what happens is like if I go on a walk, or sometimes if I'm just kind of like lying in bed and my mind is wandering, I'll come up with something like 3, 4, 5 ideas, like just like bang, 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 and I just write them down immediately. And so then if I'm going through a phase where I feel like I'm not coming up with new ideas, I can like look back to them. And a lot of those ideas, I'm like, this is either isn't that funny, or it's too much effort for the punchline, or this isn't something that I can really compress into my usual 3, maybe 4 panel thing. You know what I mean? Like it's just like some of them don't survive, but I'll go through phases where it feels like 2 weeks and I don't get any like, I don't get any like new ideas. But as long as I have like a little backlog, sometimes even I'll feel like my backlog is running dry, and I just go back to it, and like go back like way back even. Like sometimes I have like year-old ideas that I abandoned, and I'm looking back and I'm like, okay, this wasn't funny when I wrote it, but now I think I could alter this joke and make it a little bit better. So yeah, like Casey said right here, ideas are a dime a dozen, execution is where it's at. It's 100% true. The actual, I don't know if you guys read my Canvas Rebel interview that I did like a couple months ago, but I think it was in that one. I think in that one I marked like one of the most important, like I said, there's like 3 really important things about that it takes to be an artist, and it's like, I can't remember the 2 of them, but one of them was just actualization. None of them were having good ideas, you know what I mean? I think one of them is vision, but that doesn't mean having good ideas. It just means like having and this is something that Robert Henry gets into in The Art Spirit, which is that like he talks very much about like what is the undercurrent, like, and that's something that I think has been lost a lot in, not to sound like a freaking boomer, like, but I think it is lost a lot in like modern media and in, social media discourse and, what have you, where people are talking about just like the here and now and how, like, just like what is it, like this looks bad or this person sucks or whatever, but they're not looking at the subtext. You're not looking at the undercurrent, like, okay, well, what does this mean, like where is this coming from, or like this, or when it comes to art or critiquing art, you know what I mean, there's some really good art, even if it's drawn really simplicity, has a life underneath it. Like some of my ideas which don't make sense, which are some of my favorite ideas that I like to draw, are ones that don't really make sense. They're just non sequiturs, but it's like I feel like I have to draw them because there's something in me that I can't quite explain that thinks that idea is funny. But that in itself is an honest expression of who I am, and so because of that, to my eye, if I'm looking at my own work and in other people's works, you can feel the life underneath that. You can tell that when somebody did it. Whereas, like, and a lot of artists will tell you this, like, you might have a drawing that you're working on for, let's say you go to art school and you have to do like this crazy oil painting, and you're slaving over it. You might be working on a project for ages, and it's like blood, sweat, and tears is going into it, and it comes out technically like it might just look incredible, but you can feel it when there's no, like, when there's just no love in it, like when somebody didn't care about making it, or not that they didn't care about it, but that they weren't passionate about making it. Like they had to, they had to do it, but not because they felt like they had to do it. So I think like a lot of honestly, I don't know if you guys have noticed, like some of the material that I've been posting through, which is like, it's old stuff that I've been posting through the past few weeks, which has to do with my sort of like, I have this like week-long exclusivity period with Comics Kingdom, but because I'm so backlogged on them, I have comics drawn that are going to be available, like, you're going to see them on social media in like 6 weeks, but they've already sent them over to King, and so like that's, that like I have a lot of new stuff, but I've been posting through some old stuff, and some of that stuff gets really good. Like, honestly, I'm posting through some material that, like, when I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is so not funny anymore, or this was really just, like, ham-fisted, or just not, like, or I could tell that I was just trying to do a certain thing here. And I'll post them again, but because the idea is simple, sometimes it'll click with people, but I don't feel that love for it. Like, I don't feel like some of my old ideas were just me feeling out the ground floor and trying to figure out what I like to do. And now I feel like I'm still feeling out the ground floor, but like a little bit more in touch with what I think is funny and what I like and my voice as a creator, but that like came with time and some practice. Let's see, what else? Do you have a secret technique to come up with more? Honestly, it sounds so obvious or cringy, but I don't care. Exercise, meditation, hanging out with your friends, good habits in general, like being in a routine, but like a routine that you're passionate about really helps. Sometimes they'll just pop into my head randomly. Sometimes if I'm hanging out with friends, one of my friends will say something funny and I'll think like that's such a funny, that'd be so funny to execute in a comic, maybe like tweak it in a certain way. Like, things that make you feel good or make you a healthier person, mentally, spiritually, physically, your brain is just going to be working better and you're going to get more ideas. So, yeah, there's not really a catch-all answer, but the truth is that, like, maybe this is, I don't care if this is controversial or if this upsets some guys, but I'm just like, I'm sorry, but like, you know, smoking weed, boozing, I know a lot of people will be like, bro, I'm so much more creative when I smoke weed. It's like, to each his own. Some people are more creative. I'm not. That would just, like, I haven't smoked weed in a long time, honestly, and I think, like, in some ways, early on, maybe weed was, like, good for me because it kind of got me in a different headspace, but, like, I was smoking so much weed for a period of time, and now I don't smoke at all, and I am, like, so much more productive, and my mind feels like it's actually working on, like, normal mode, so I don't know. Take that as you will. People are built with different chemistry, so that might not be the case for all of you. If anybody's watching this and you're smoking weed right now, I'm not trying to, like, get on you, but I'm just saying, you know, don't, like, the truth is that building good, healthy habits, it's not overrated. Like, they exist for a reason. That shit does actually make your brain work better. Let's see. How do you stay consistent in art style for your comics? I feel like I'm all over the place. Dolphin Dots says. Here, I'm going to start drawing while we're talking about this. That was something that I was really self-conscious on. We're going to draw this little arm first. I draw the frontmost objects first, right? In this case, sometimes if I'm pencil sketching, like in this case, I didn't necessarily notice how, like, I drew the body first. So if you're doing a pencil, that might be a different story, but when I'm actually drawing with ink, I'm always doing the frontmost, the closest to the viewer first. I think it's easier that way. So we're going to draw this little loosey-goose kind of... I'm not trying to sound like a prick about the whole weed smoking thing. I'm just kind of like talking about my personal experience. All right, so so he has one arm on the... Is the stream lagging for people? My internet seems fine. It seems to be working on my end. Let's see. So I got this, and then just slightly overlap. Actually, I didn't even do it on the original drawing. Maybe let's not do that. Let's just keep going. Let's forget that bit there. Keep going, and then you're just gonna cuff it back, just like that. Little tiny divot. This is still slightly too opaque. That's better. Anyway, Dolphin Dots. It's a very good question. It was something I was really self-conscious of when I started because, like, I felt that my drawing style or, like, my comics didn't have, like, a really palpable, like, style that was really, like, oh, that's a Beetle Moses comic, or, like, that's, you know, something that was kind of, like, imitable or replicable, or not necessarily that, but just like a visual cue that was just like, oh, this belongs to this comic artist. especially you have to imagine like the two guys that I was really kind of like pitting myself against in a friendly, just competitive way when I first joined the scene were YOLO Swag Studios, my buddy, and my other buddy, House of Decline, two comic artists who I admire very much. And they both have really, like, you know, like very distinct. Notice how, guys, look, see I'm making like two more little J shapes that just are parallel to that first line. So that's 3 fingers. Those guys both have really, like, immediately recognizable styles. So I got in my head about that really early on, that when I was drawing, I was like, I do not feel like my style is recognizable, notable. But this was also like, and I still do this a little bit, like, it was so early on. It was way too early on for me to be saying something like that. And Dolphin Dots, I'm not sure, you know, where you're at in your art journey specifically, but like, it may just be really early on for you too. And to be honest, it's like some of my comics have, see how I'm just drawing this other line coming back up here at the elbow and then just boop right up into there. That's the arm. You could even give him a little fatter arm bite, making this one intersect slightly there. Like, I kind of fell into this style naturally, and like now it's funny because I see people doing the Beetle, like either tagging me and stuff or showing me like, oh, here's my, you know, I tried my hand at a Beetle Moses style, which is very flattering because it's like, I still really never became like a conscious effort to be like, I gotta develop a style, you know what I mean? Which maybe some artists do that, like they make a really conscious effort to do that. But I think just the more you draw, like, you're going to fall into a style. Something else that Robert Henry talks about is, well, 2 things. One, if you have a fear of losing your originality because you're trying some other styles, which is something that I have had in the past, and yeah, I felt like this passage spoke to me. Professor Henry in this book was talking about how, like, you cannot, no matter how hard you try, lose your originality. Like, no matter how much you try to do something else that's outside of your comfort zone, you will always be a part of it. So there's no sense in worrying about losing your originality. The other thing that he brings up, and I agree wholeheartedly, and it's a lot of the stuff that he says is stuff that I've kind of already felt, but I think he like verbalizes it in a really, or doesn't verbalize, what do you say? He wrote it down in a very like clear, well said way. The other thing is, like, you should really become acquainted with with material that you like. Like, why? Like, let's say I'm sure everybody who's watching right now, by the way, I'm drawing this like J shape up to the chin area. See that? Just a curve. I'm sure everybody at home right now has a poster, a piece of art on their wall, a piece of art that they bought from an artist they like. Maybe you got a comic from a comic book store. You know, maybe you have a little sculpture. Maybe you have something hanging in your bathroom. You know, maybe you have a desktop wallpaper. Maybe you have a phone wallpaper that's like a piece of art, something that you've collected. And you might have been like, oh, I really like this, and that's why you made it your wallpaper, or that's why you hung it up, or that's why you bought this book on a whim at a bookstore, something like that. You know what I mean? What you should really do that I think is like beneficial, and something that I'm kind of doing now, is look back at those things and try to figure out, like, what is it about this? What is it specifically? Why did this? Because you may have not been thinking like, ooh, like, I love art. I love art like this. You might have just been like, I like this. You know what I mean? And then just like getting like you should look at some material like that and think like, what is it about this piece of art that attracted me to this art? Why did I like this? Because everybody has different tastes. You know, there's a lot of stuff that's like, you know, meets in the middle. There's stuff like everybody loves there's movies that everybody loves or pieces of art that people have decided upon that are just like the greatest works of art of all time. You know what I mean? But like, if you have some stuff in your house that you feel is like somewhat personal to you, or something that you're like, I got this comic book and nobody's heard of it, but I love the cover art, or when I read it, this guy's a genius. It's a shame that this guy, you know what I mean? I have stuff like that I bought in like high school before I was really interested in comics. I was just like, this looks cool, I want to get it. And now I'm going back. Draw a little circle here, guys, or oval rather, in a C shape. Now I'm going back and analyzing that stuff and thinking like, okay, why did I like this? What is it about this piece that attracted me to it? And maybe your tastes have changed. Maybe it's not something that you would necessarily go for, but there still is something in you that you liked about it. And I think figuring that out is a really like important step in your own self-discovery as an artist, because you may find like, even if you can't or don't want to draw art exactly like that person, it might be a good exercise to try and emulate some of the things that you liked about that work, or find more media that fits that bill and see like, okay, this one is kind of in the same vein, but I don't like this one. Why don't I like this one, but I do like this one? You know what I mean? When I started like doing comics in general, when I started doing the Beetle Moses thing, I honestly did not have a brain for comics at all. I had read some comics. I owned a couple that I liked. I had like Batman Year One. I got this one that I'm thinking of off the top of my head called King City by Brandon Graham, who's not a seriously well-known artist, but he's extremely talented. King City, it's called. If you Google that and like look, I'm pretty sure you can get it for like $15 or something on Amazon, or maybe on like a secondhand bookstore or something online. It's amazing. It's really good. It's actually a really good melding, I think, of kind of like a manga style with like a Western palette. And I didn't think of that when I picked it up. I got it in high school and I was just like, I love this cover art. I thought it was really cool, and I was like, I bet this is dope. And it was dope. And I still have it. And then I reread it now for the first time in like, I don't even know how long, because it's sitting on my bookshelf untouched. Haven't looked at it in some time. I just made like this little J shape, by the way, from the corner of the mouth. And I was like, I want to look back and see what was he doing like more closely. And it did give me some insight. You know what I mean? There's some stuff that I'm like, this is some stuff that I'd like to lean into in my comics. I'm never going to be able to emulate or do exactly what this guy was doing because he's his own artist, he's his own person. But like, it did make me think like, ooh, I could be doing stuff a little bit more in this vein, because this art is dope and I would love to make art like this. You know what I mean? Like all over again. If I had found this book in a comic book store and I had never heard of it, I would have bought it all over again. So anyway, all this is to say, finding your own style it's not exactly a conscious effort, but there are steps you can take to get there a little bit faster. The best thing you can do is draw. And if you are drawing like a freaking man on fire, you will develop. You will develop a style in a year, which I know a year sounds like a year of drawing, but dude, a year goes by like that, and you're either gonna have a year where you didn't draw anything and you're still like, I wonder what my style is, or you'll be at the end of it and you'll be like, damn, look at all this art that I did. You know what I mean? Let's see what else we got here. Count Jabok says, since you love drawing animals, I've been playing Saga, which is a round-based RPG where you play a mouse fighting bigger animals with a pocket knife. That's awesome. Love that. Hernandez says, okay, so the secret is smoking a ton of weed. Yes. Count Jabok also says, I feel like some people only need to smoke weed because they're self-conscious about being creative when they're sober. Yeah, like I felt honestly, and again, not everybody's like this. Some people, it it's not an inhibitor. For me, I felt like it was an inhibitor. Like, smoking weed made me way more self-conscious than was necessary. In some ways, being self-conscious is good because being self-aware can make you aware of yourself, which is very good in some ways, but to a point, it shouldn't get to a point where you're self-aware to a point where you're like, if I do this, it's cringe, or if I post this, it's cringe. It's like, I do feel in some ways that, like, my too much smoking weed maybe set me back, like, a good decade of just, like, being a lot bolder with my, drawings, comics, like, posting, sharing my material. Because I was just like, I'm not good enough. People are going to think this is lame. This is embarrassing. You know what? It's like, it's stupid. Like, you get that monkey on your shoulder. And I still have a little bit of it, but I've learned to curb it way more than I was able to when I was like a daily weed smoker. Transcendency says, I've been listening to a podcast where they talk about the difficulty of living genuinely because they started living life to be talked about on the podcast later on. For example, it's okay that I had a frustrating experience with customer service. At least this would be a great story for the podcast. Do you get that feeling when coming up with comic ideas? Let me sip my tea and think about that for a second. No. But they're two different mediums. Like, I mean, I do think before I had a podcast or anything like that, I did sometimes try to frame things, like if I was having an experience that was like crazy or uncomfortable or something I didn't like, I usually would just try to tell myself, like, this is going to be a very funny story later. You know what I mean? That's sometimes, it's kind of cope, but like, it does help you through some situations like that. But has it made me struggle with living genuinely? No, actually, at least, like, the truth is that it feels a lot more, I know this is maybe we're kind of beating a dead horse with this topic here, but like, it does feel, now that I am on a career path, it feels like that is true to what I want to do. It's true to who I am. I feel like I'm living more genuinely now than ever. You know what I mean? Like, I think there was more this like feeling when I wasn't doing art very frequently that I would have to almost be like, talk about coping, lying to myself or my friends who were more creative or artists or whatever, and being like, oh yeah, I'm like doing I'm doing this. I'm doing some paintings. I'm doing some whatever. You know what I mean? Or yeah, I'm writing something, or you know what I mean? Like, I would feel like I had to like act like I'm doing something. But now it's like, I'm fucking doing it. You know what I mean? I'm doing it, and like, I don't sugarcoat it. I don't feel like I have to sugarcoat what I'm doing anymore, really. And I also don't necessarily oversell the success that I've found either. Like, there's not really much to oversell. Like, I'm still in a lot of ways very like hand to mouth. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, if I stop working, the whole train comes to a stop. I'm not on any residuals, right? I'm not on any passive income. Everything is like aggressive income right now. But like, I am 100% happier than I ever have been at, like, I mean, seriously, like, with all the work, with all the busyness, like, my mental health is so much better now than it's just so much better now. I still get anxiety about, like, things that I have to do, but, like, holy crap, Lois. I mean, okay, let me actually break down this ear that I'm drawing because it's a little bit more complicated. We're going to start with this, like, sort of loose sort of U-C curve shape here. And then the upper part, I don't know, you can kind of see here, it's an S shape. It's a very loose S, which starts at the point and then goes up. You see how it like curves like that? It goes sloping down and sloping over. little line there. One horn. Another line. This horn, because it's slightly on the other side of the head, it's behind that line that I just drew. And then another sort of curved line down this slope. And I kind of like this, it's just cute. I'm going to make a little eye peeking out from this side as well. And I'm going to color these in. Let's see. Maniac Ninja said, I'll never forget that one guy's Iron Man comic where he cracked your code. Yeah, Cheesy Made Fredo was doing a series on some Beetle Moses comics there for a second, which is pretty... Oh, Gar Klingon, yo, what up? Yeah, I've seen a few people do some, like, series. I've also seen some artists who have never, like... How do I put this? I've never made never made an effort to acknowledge me or anything like that. Let's put it that way. Who have been kind of like biting the Beetle Moses style a little bit, which I think I made a catty tweet about fucking like 6 months ago, but it's like probably not that long ago. But like I have seen some comic artists who kind of, you know, they don't follow me. I know they're aware of me. I know maybe they don't like me, but they're doing the Beetle Moses thing. And that to me gets me a little bit just like, you motherfucker. But I like, whatever, you know. But that's not to say, I don't want to discourage like beginning artists. When people like post stuff that, oh, I just did another little ear shape there. I didn't draw that on the original one, but it looks cute that way. When people send me comics and they're like, hey, I drew this in it, like I was trying to emulate your thing, like that's awesome. Like that's extremely flattering. It's just like, you know how it is online, right? I got some haters. I got some haters in high places, I think. And those guys don't like it. Okay, this one, I'm actually going to sort of play up what I did with the tail a bit here. I think we can make this zhuzh it up a bit, just make it a little bit more exciting. I'm going to kind of design this like a flame, like a little flame. So don't have to copy this exactly, but just watch how I'm doing this, all right? I'm just making a little wiggly... wiggly, squiggly line. Picture... I mean, I'm going super free, loosey-goose. Okay, it doesn't have to be, yo, Dongarino. Dongarino Dong. Art. Why would someone hate your stuff? Some people... Well, first of all, I'll get randoms in my... Oh, well, let me actually talk practically first about what we just drew here. So I'm drawing a flame. This is the... See this, what I drew? Like, it's not very opaque, but the tail... This looks lame. This looks fresh. So the big flame thing. So I'm gonna do this instead. I'm going really loosey-goose, but picture this. Like if you're having trouble recreating something like this, all right? My idea to make my dragon unique is foiled. Gotcha. I'm always one step ahead. You'll have more opportunities because I think also like coloring and all this different stuff. Like wow, this new Beetle Moses model looks almost real. I am a VTuber. I am not real. Glitch. I am not real. Picture that I'm drawing. You're kind of drawing like a C is the overarching shape, but as you're doing the C, you're making little wiggles all the way up. And sometimes when, you know, and rather than just going like left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, you can make it more just like like sometimes when you're supposed to go left, you go right. You know what I mean? And that's how we got this. And I'm going to do the other thing on the other side and kind of keeping in mind that it's getting a little bit thinner as we go up, but you'll see I'm going to use that rule very loosely. And then the only thing that is important is that in this last like centimeter, it's going to come to a point, okay? I'm leaving this part open so it's not totally connected, but we're going up the other way now. And notice how like see that? It's not perfect. Like sometimes it gets a little thicker around here. I'll even do another. Let's do another. Yeah. Hell yeah. You got it? I'm leaving that open because I'm going to have the tail kind of like, boop, sticking in there. The Beetle hate. I mean, look, I get like, I get like random, you know, like accounts with like 2 followers, or people who just, you know, don't follow me, don't know who I am, don't like, yo, what up, y'all? People hate on anything. I know, it was a huge wake-up call. I was laughing with my friend Kyle, who I think he might be in the chat. But we were laughing on the phone after I posted that monkey video that I took at the zoo that, like, it just went viral for no reason, where, like, well, not for no reason, it's a fresh video, but, like, I wasn't trying to get, like, oh boy, I hit tweet. I just was, like, putting it up. But it was literally, like, a monkey picking up a big palm frond, and it was, like, yeah, like, sticking it up in the air. And as I'm filming it, you can hear everybody, like all the people around me were like, oh my god, like, freaking out. It was so funny. One of the funniest things I've ever witnessed at a zoo. One like, just hilarious. And happened to catch it on video because, you know, when I'm at a zoo, especially at the monkey exhibit, like, you already know, I'm gonna be filming these monkeys, all right? I know I'm waiting for them to do something funny. I was ready to go. And it happened. I happened to catch it, and as soon as after it happened, my girlfriend was like, you got that on video? And I was like, this is going on Twitter, baby. And so I posted it to Twitter, and it was so funny to see just people that are like, y'all will upvote anything. It's so stupid. Y'all go crazy about anything. The monkey lifted a leaf. Who gives a shit? You know, it's some stupid, like, and I was like. But I was laughing with Kyle on the phone. He brought up such a good point because he was literally like, that should just be excuse me, sorry guys. Jesus, let me just sip my tea here. He was basically just like, he was like, if that goes to show anything, it's just that people will come out of the woodwork to literally hate on anything. Like that video of the monkey, there is no lot, like, who would see that video and immediately just be like, wait. But that's like what Twitter is. I feel like I was just talking about this I feel like I'm always talking about this, but I feel like I was talking about this on Cold Cuts on like an episode or 2 ago, where it's just like, oh, like, just like, all you have to do is post the most negative, just like, you guys, you guys are watching the Super Bowl? Who gives a shit? You guys like SpongeBob SquarePants? Grow up. You guys play video games? Get a job. All you have to do is do that and post that on Twitter, and you literally get like 56,000 retweets. They give you the key to the city. Literally, that's all it is. Like they literally send you a Nobel Peace Prize by way of Twitter when all you do is you see something that people are enjoying and you're just like, did you guys know that there's microplastics in the, like, oh my god. Babadook's like, right on time for the monkey talk. What's up, Babadook? Perfectly captures how they talk. That's just like what Twitter is, and sometimes it's really hard to not fall into that. Like, sometimes I feel like I've posted. Actually, this brings me to a different point I wanted to bring up, because last time that we were on stream, I had just been in this little beef with somebody that was doing that. Excuse me, not a well-known artist, but somewhat well-known, a few thousand followers on Twitter. So basically, key to the city. There's other artists who all they do is be negative online. I've been aware of them for some time because they've been the punching bag of the day on Twitter for being profoundly negative, and I'm like, well, they're not, why that's not my friend, you know what I mean? And then I posted something, it's not even worth getting into, but I posted something and they replied, they quote tweeted me and did one of those and then I posted a very mean drawing of what they... I just did a really rude caricature of them without naming them specifically because I didn't want to give them the clout, but also by way of plausible deniability. I kind of just like did the most like playground banter type, response. And then I had some of you guys in my chat because I did a stream like a couple days after that, and I had some of you guys in my chat that were like, that was a little mean. And I was like, no, like, fuck that person. They were they started it. They were being mean to me. I did not even engage with them, and then they were being mean to me. Why am I not allowed to be mean back? But I took what you guys said to heart. I went back and I deleted the drawing that I did of them because I was like, you know what? I'm going to take the high road. And also, if somebody is new to my little profile and they're looking at my drawings or something like that, I don't want them to think that I'm some gigantic bitch or whatever. So, I took down the drawing. You guys were right. I was being mean and petty, and it wasn't necessary. There's no need. So, all this is to say, it's very easy to get caught up in the... watch this, guys, by the way. Watch this perfect curly cue. Boom! It's like a backward 6. Give the dragon breasts. So, anyway. Bigger... Get my stream banned. God, this cough is killing me, man. Yellow Swag Studios in the chat. Bigger. Why don't you let Yellow Swag on more streams? We all demand it. Why don't you come on the next one? I haven't done a stream. I haven't even been streaming. All right, this is... And guys, I know some of you guys don't feel comfortable doing like one big, long, drawing one line in a fell swoop that's a complicated shape. I'm going to try my best to do it in one fell swoop. But it's okay if you need to break it up along the way. Because look, mine's not even perfect. Mine's a little bumpy. But I just made this from, it intersects from the tail, and it goes all the way up to here. Somewhere on your flame. And then what you can do is actually follow the line to the chest. Under the tail. See that? And see, mine didn't come out perfect. I'm not even going to redo it. It's good enough. You're the dragon, baby. I'm going to color in the mouth also. It's so messed up. I literally just got used to writing Year of the Rabbit on my checks. That's like such a dad joke. I didn't even make that up. Okay. Anyway. We're going to draw the wings now. A serpent cow. Yeah, okay. That's kind of what a dragon is, right? It looks vaguely like that. So anyway. Good. Alright. Here we go. Do you guys like my mug, by the way? My brother and his girlfriend got it for me for the holidays. It has a beetle on it. I got it for Hanukkah. That's why there's some other Beetle haters out there. You already know why. It's not because of the drawings, baby. They just hate because of who I am. Because they can't deal with a thug like me. Boom. Cheers to that. I don't want friends. I want haters. That's some free game. Thank me later. Yeah, the mug goes crazy. Shout out Anthropology. Shout out my brother and his GF. Because they got it for me. And I was very happy when I opened my present. Okay. We're going to draw the wings now. I drew them really simple in this outline here. We're going to go a little bit more ham. Don't get overexcited. Take it slow. Don't get intimidated. It's actually quite easy. It's all simple lines. Okay? We're going to go line up. Line over just to about there. Very skinny. Try to keep it pretty close. You know, keep it close, but let it breathe. I think that's something else that I've probably brought up briefly on streams before. And I think that's like something I want to, like when we're talking about technical advice. I know I'm not always great about giving like technical advice. Sometimes I try to give like, you know, art, like life advice, like making a career out of it. But I'm trying, you know, like where I can drop nuggets of just sort of like technical things, I will. And here's one of them. Something I'd really like to like drive home to you is to respect negative space. So I've brought this up before, but sometimes when there's two lines that are close together, you should make an executive decision if you want to space them farther apart, let it breathe, or go the other way and let them overlap, and that lets it breathe in another way. But when I have like two lines like this on a drawing that are like right next to each other, I'm inclined to choose one or the other. Either space it out farther or overlap them. In this case, okay? We're going to draw, what I want to draw is a line going back very thin, okay, on the way back here. But I can picture what some of your drawings might already look like, and this isn't wrong, but it's just something to consider about if you're looking at your drawing and you're like, I wonder why mine doesn't look like that, you know what I mean? Some of you guys might be drawing too close, too thin. You see how now if I did it like this part kind of doesn't really like work? Rather than being like, okay, I gotta get it super close here, let it breathe. Let it breathe. Give it some room. Especially in cartooning. You know, in like a really realistic illustration, if that's something that you want to get into, which I'm not really your guy for that. I'm a cartoonist. I am an illustrator, but like even my stuff that's not like funny or really like cute cartoony is still following a lot of these same rules. Don't keep it too close. Let it breathe a little bit. It's just going to look better. All right, we're going to do another one. Straight line out. Let it breathe on the way back, on the return. Even that one I'm not crazy. Actually, it might be easier. You might find it easier to bring it into the point. Let it breathe. And one more. Space it out a bit. Let it breathe. To there. Then, once you've done that, a line up this way. We can now follow our eyes line and continue the back to connect at the base of this. Harris says, yeah, that doesn't look too good when you're drawing a heavily stylized thing. Yeah, true. And with a thin pen, at least not the Beetle style. Yeah, I just find in general that when I'm drawing stuff, I wonder if I can even show like another example of what I'm talking about here, but it's not easy to explain. Like, okay, like for example, I have these, by the way, stickers, which when you order a print, you get these. Look how big they look. They're the size of my head. Big stickers of the Beetle coming out of the computer. Classic image. With this one, I made a conscious effort. Like, for example, okay, here, where this leg is coming out of the computer. If this leg was closer to this edge, the computer screen, so that this line and this line, the one of the edge of the computer and the one of the edge of the arm, were touching or intersecting, I don't know if it just wouldn't look quite right. Does that make sense? Like, it would look fine, but I just think there's some value in letting... There's value in letting some stuff breathe. Okay? It's not always true, but in a lot of ways you're going to find that helpful. Like, just a helpful tip. Okay, does everybody have the back? Everything here? We're just going to web them. Webbed. And this one is going to come slightly more in. This wing... Actually, in fact, let's just draw the back first, and then we'll draw the other wing. Because it's behind him. Curve. Bring it up to like here, and I'm actually going to, you know what? I like how I did it on the original drawing, which is add a little back to his cranium there. Gives it a little bit more of like an alligator feel. I think just drawing this line straight up like that, it still looks good, but I like having his, it looks more like a head. Also, it kind of follows the path of his dome a bit better this way. So that was just it's literally like an S shape. There's another thing. Stuff like this, like cheating lines, cheating curves. What I mean by cheating is just like playing them up, like pushing this one out a little bit to just give more of the effect that I'm going for. This other wing is going to be easy because you can't even really see it, but back here, and up and over. Down, kind of intersects right there. And actually just, yeah, a little webbing right there. That's fine. That really, like, I mean, that pretty much, yeah, I don't even know if I like. I'm like 50-50 on that. I'll leave it. My phone going off? Let's see. How's everybody doing? How is the... Let's see. How's the drawing going for everybody at home? You guys following along? Sorta. We've only got one element like left. Trying your best. Catching up. Take your time. I'm gonna be coloring it in for a little bit afterwards too anyway, so put this up here. I just hung a shelf above my... Oh my god, what the... Frank FC is gifting 5 tier 1 subs. What the hell? Oh my god, no way. Frank, happy belated birthday. Is your birthday like, what was it, like a week ago? You trying? No way. Celebrity sighting. Celebrity donation. How are you, Frank? I miss you, buddy. Can we talk again soon? I would like to see you. I'm enjoying drawing this one. I don't want to put too much on your plate, guys. Okay, with this hand. I know sometimes you guys get a little fussy about hands. I'll hit you up, baby. He's the guy who made the beat for Clout Rap 2, right? Yes. That is his claim to fame. That's what he's famous for. He hasn't really done much other than that. That's like what his... That was like his thing. Not your lore. Frank's that man. I saw some people... Where were they messaging you, Frank? Was it on Instagram or on Twitter? I saw some people asking you about some of the old like FL Studio videos that you had put up and had to take down, and they were asking if you'll ever like re-upload or where they went or something, and you were kind of like, yeah, you're the one that kind of filled me in on all that like background thing too. It sounds like Frank uploaded some videos that FL Studio was not too happy about, and the CIA kicked his door down, which is extremely based. And Frank was instrumental in, no pun intended, in helping me figure out FL Studio, and which allowed me to produce the beat for Muzzy Cold Cut song, which Frank mixed and mastered. So yeah, they were taken down because they told people to pirate their software. Got 'em. That's like, but like, they're such babies for that. Who cares? Let's do more beats together, 100%. I actually have to get... I was just thinking this yesterday, or the other day. I actually don't have FL Studio on the new computer, so it's been quite a while since I've made a new beat. But I gotta pirate it on this new computer. Because I have found some very hot samples recently. Spicy. That's why I even thought of it. I was like, oh, this would be such a good beat. So maybe I'll download it again tonight so we can make some beats. Gotta what? Download it, pay for it. Okay, here we go. He's gonna have this noodly little, what do you call a rubber hose arm, Cal Arts arm. No, it's not Cal Arts. It's like they've been doing that for a while. Let's chop it up. So here's how you make a peace sign hand, all right? This is a nice little added lesson that you can apply to, anything really. It starts with a curly Q, just like that. Curly Q, remember to let it breathe. Not too close to the bottom, not too close to the top. Get it nice and center. Okay. Then I kind of cheat again. Talk about cheating. Kind of cheat the. I don't make it a straight line, right? I'm kind of cheating the curve that way. So rather than just like the peace sign, which would be normal, they're kind of flayed backwards a little. It just looks a little bit more expressive, cartoony. So it's slightly curved back. This one as well. Actually, this one's closer to straight up. Yeah, that one's kind of just straight. I think maybe just the first figure is what you need. And then you've got these two ovals right next to each other, overlapping. tiny little divot underneath. That's all there is to it, folks. And I'm just drawing 2 curved lines. Try to visualize the thickness of this arm to match the thickness of this one. That's also going to help. I would say even maybe I underplayed it a little bit. Maybe I'll make it a little bit thicker. I think that matches slightly better. Gotta go have fun. Bye, main Game Boy. Thanks for piping in. No way. What the heck? Oh my god. Alright. I'm gonna get rid of this layer. Look at that. Look how clean it looks. Now I'm gonna make another layer. Put it beneath that layer. And let's color it in. I'm gonna make them red. Oh no, that's actually not that big. Color it in. Oh yeah, and get the big areas. Just like that. Nice. Well, actually, I'm gonna go over that probably. So, in the world. What the hell? You know, I also, here's the thing, I'm thinking about, like, I'd like to just get Clip Studio again, because I couldn't get it work. That's what I was using previously on my streams when I was on my laptop. Can you remember that? What the hell was I doing with that little rinky-dink laptop for that whole amount of time? Finally got this new bad boy. But, I couldn't figure out, I don't know why, like, you know, sometimes pirating stuff is, like, really easy, like, it's just, like, 2 clicks and you're done, and then sometimes it's like, okay, guys, make sure that you use this, a key generator, and then you have to do this, and you have to do all this other crap, and I feel like I, like, could not, for some reason this time around, figure out, for the life of me, how to get Clip Studio Paint on this computer. To be fair, I'm being kind of a cheap bastard because it's not a very expensive program to begin with. It's like I think $60. That's it. It's like I should just get it. And the reason I wanted to get, I mean, this one, which is free that I'm using, I kind of like settled to use this program Krita, which is actually been really good. Like I can't really complain. But you can't download, to my knowledge, texture packs to this, which is a shame because there's some texture packs that I use on Procreate, and I probably would be more keen on using texture packs on here. I would be more keen on using this program altogether for like comic and drawing purposes if I had those texture packs. So I'm thinking about just downloading the damn program. Yeah, this one's called Krita. What the heck? Oh my god, no way. And this is a good program. Like I definitely don't dislike it. It does what I need it to do, you know, like I can't complain. Alright. This. And we're gonna go smaller still. Can you make super tiny stickers of all your little characters so I can put them on my phone? Also shirts. Yeah, I mean, I am overdue to make a couple shirts. Well, actually, this is kind of a fun announcement that maybe you guys will have a little exclusive for. I don't know when the drop is gonna happen. He said it would happen sometime this week, but he's involved with production, so I don't know that it's going to happen this week, and there's not really any immediate rush, but I just designed a t-shirt for a collaboration with Gators Daily, who you guys might be aware of. They're like a very big they basically post like gators and reptiles on Twitter and Instagram and stuff, and they're very big like advocate for wildlife and stuff like that, which is really cool. And they post a bunch of funny memes about gators, and they've reposted some of my stuff in the past, and then they messaged me and were just like, if you ever wanted to like collaborate or work on something together, and I was like, yeah, I'd love to. That'd be really cool. What if I design a t-shirt, and if you wanted to be in charge of like production and distribution, we can just like put like 100% of the proceeds to like a wildlife conservation. And he was like, that's a great idea. So I ended up designing that shirt. That was like a few weeks ago. I designed the shirt, sent it over. We like agreed on the design. I think he was really happy with it. And then he told me that this week he was planning on dropping the design. So that coming soon, I guess. I don't know when that's going to happen exactly, but it was a very fresh design. I'm really happy with how it came. Well, I guess I can leak it, right? It's probably not a big deal. Where is it? It's this. It's this design. Man, it's a bit too big. This is the design. And I think it's just going to be like this, like the black line work on like a green t-shirt, green or yellow or something like that. So, which was inspired actually by a member of the Cold Cuts Discord, Meadow. She asked me to design a tattoo for her that looked similar to it wasn't quite as like intricate, but it was like a cartoon of a gator playing on a guitar like this. So I still drink out of my don't talk to me till I've devoured a live boar mug. That's awesome. I remember early on that you like posted a promo of you drinking that, and it like actually drove the sales way up. I got like even more, and then I reposted that comic that features that mug. I like reposted that a couple weeks ago, and then plugged it again. I was like, by the way, this is a mug on my shop, and I sold a bunch more of those. So that's like been one of my top sellers for a while, and I still get orders for them randomly like now and again. But yeah, I love the way that mug came out. And then this one I think will be really fun, just because that might have actually been the comic that I posted that Gators Daily retweeted, and then shortly after they reached out and asked if I ever wanted to do like a collaboration. So I'm really happy with how this design came out. I think it's cool. I think it's gonna look really cool on a shirt. So yeah. So I TBD. I hopefully they'll, or TBA, whenever they announce it, I'll obviously share it with you guys. We'll be able to get it. But yeah, I'm gonna get one myself, honestly, and. All the money it's all gonna go to, I think like we picked the guy Seth, I think is his name. He was the one that showed me like I was telling him like, I don't know if you're more in the know about different types of like wildlife conservation, but also I'm in Florida, so it'd be kind of cool to do something with the Everglades. Like that would be like kind of close to home for me. And he found this very cool WEF, I think is what it was called, which is like a very big, like American wildlife conservation, like nonprofit organization or something like that. So yeah, so that's where all the proceeds will be going, which is very exciting. But I'm also just gonna get a shirt because I think the shirt looks fresh. So anyway. But also I do have, I also include, as you guys probably know, because I bring it up all the time, I include stickers in print orders. I don't actually sell a sticker pack. Some people have requested that, which might be time to set something up like that. But when you buy a print, you always get a sticker. And right now the stickers that I'm putting in there is this one. Leandro, lover not a fighter. This little guy. So, which is actually, I think it's something like, what is this? I'll tell you the exact dimensions. They are 4 by 3 inches, so they're pretty big actually. Have you ever done pins? I haven't, but that's also on the to-do. Also, a little bit of behind the scenes. I don't like. I'm fairly certain that it's still going to happen, but I'm waiting to receive some like contractual stuff from them, so I don't know totally that it's not set in stone yet, but there is a chance, or it seems like it's shaping up like I'm going to be doing a booth at a comic convention in June called OMG Con, which is in Kentucky, and which I've never been to, and I think it's on the smaller side. Like I think the attendance is something in like the 4,000 or 5,000 range, but I think it's also near like a college campus, so there's a lot of young people that go there, and I think it's with a focus in like cartoons and anime. And another webcomic artist who I love, who I admire very much, Flork of Cows, who's freaking goated, was the one that kind of put my name in to get the gig, which is really exciting. And he's been super helpful in like filling me in on what type of merchandise I should bring. And what he advised me was to get a lot of like bring merch that's small, because I'm going to be carrying it around. So like t-shirts and jackets and hoodies or whatever is like kind of a pain in the ass to lug around, but things like prints, pins, stickers, keychains, you know what I mean, are all like really good and like little things to sell. So that's in June. It's not locked in yet. I don't know for sure if any of you guys are in Kentucky, and I'll keep you posted if I'm going to be out there. But I think I've had a bunch of conversations with the showrunner over there, and she was really cool. And she, I think I'm just kind of waiting for her to send me over some of like the materials that I'll need. But if it happens, I'll definitely be making some pins, because I'd like to have like a little bit of a variety of stuff. Speaking of pins, I attended a convention. I attended a convention 2 weekends ago, right? No, oh my god, was it last weekend? It feels like an eternity ago. I attended a convention last weekend, MegaCon in Orlando, which is actually the first time I've even ever been to a con. Have you guys ever been to comic cons? Like a con before? I had never been. It was my first time, and for a first one, it was freaking huge, man. It was just like, first of all, the celebrity lineup there was off the chain. They had like, you went to MagFest last year. Yeah, I want to just start attending more. The thing is that like, travel is just traveling is expensive. You know what I mean? And I actually did get accepted. I applied and got accepted. It's kind of silly because I just kind of like, maybe my eyes were bigger than my stomach or whatever, but it's like, Anime Expo in LA is intense. It's like 50,000 in one room. That's literally what this one in Orlando, MegaCon, felt like. Honestly, no exaggeration, I think there was 100,000 people there, like, total. By like 2 p.m., like at its like height, it was a little claustrophobic, if I'm being totally real. But when I got there first in the morning, it was busy, but comfortably busy, and then it kind of got like really out of control. But it was a lot of people. But I applied to VANCAF, which is Vancouver Comic and Arts Festival, and they accepted my application. They sent me like, hey, we're really excited to be able to offer you a booth, and so and so, which is really exciting and flattering. But I just was looking up like the traveling to get to go to Vancouver, and then like 2 or 3 nights in a hotel, and I'm just like, I cannot swing it. You know what I mean? I might. you know, I might make some of it, maybe a good amount of it back on sales at the con, but I just like am like I cannot do that right now. Like I'd rather have a little bit more money saved up, and also I should probably just be attending some more that are just like closer to me, driving distance. Like Orlando is not so far, like it's like a 3-hour drive from where I'm at, so like that was pretty easy. I could just make like a weekend of it and drive out there with my girl and like attend, and we stayed in a hotel and then came back home, and that was fun. But yeah, some of the international stuff, or even traveling in the States, like flights are just expensive for some reason. It doesn't feel like it was always like that. Like when I lived in New York, I would fly back and forth from Florida to New York because my family lives here, like twice a year, 3 times a year sometimes, and I don't remember it ever being like, jeez, God, like get a pit in your stomach from how expensive it is. And now it's like, last July I went to like a wedding, my cousin's wedding in Milwaukee, and that fucking round trip was like $800. Like I was like, to what? To Milwaukee, and like just on a random day in July. It was like, why is flying so fucking expensive? I don't know. So anyway, like I have to send actually VanCaf an email back and just be like, thank you so much, because I'm gonna apply again next year, and hopefully the situation will be a little bit different and I can kind of like swing it, but just too much to take on right now. I cannot swing it right now. So you know, it is what it is. But I do want to continue to attend more festivals because they're really fun. And when I went to this one, there were some crazy celebrities. I was like 10 feet away from like Rainn Wilson. They had the Stranger Things kids were there. Susan Sarandon had a booth. She wasn't out yet. Kae Hung Kwan, the guy from Everything Everywhere All at Once and the Goonies, like of that fame, he was there. Like, I mean, we're talking about like Oscar-winning A-listers. Like, I was like, holy crap. And the way that it was set up was that like they were sitting there at a booth, and you were in like a sloping line, and you could pay for an autograph or a photo with them. And I didn't really care to pay for an autograph or photo, and I didn't want to wait in line really to see any of them. But because of the way the line was sloping, if you just hop on the end of the line, you're like standing. Like I was literally like, dude, that's fucking Dwight from The Office is sitting right there. And then I tried taking the picture, and security was like, no photos, because you're like not supposed. Yeah, you're supposed to pay for the photos, and I was like, oh, sorry. And then I walked away. But yeah, they had Neville Longbottom was there, Lucius Malfoy, like those actors were there, Christopher Lloyd. It was crazy. So all these people had insane lines, and to wait, like waiting for them. And the guy who was also sitting there and had no line, like literally there was like one person in line in front of me, was Butch Hartman, who's the creator of Fairly Odd Parents and Danny Phantom. He was sitting right there, and he was like talking to one person, and there was like one other person in line like waiting to talk to him. And I was like, I think he kind of got like Lil Bro'd a little bit by just some of the other celebrities that were there, but I was kind of like, yo, is this still like kind of a big name? And like, you know, I was like, I want to meet Butch. I want to meet Butch Hartman. So I hopped in line for that one, and there was a person, like his assistant, standing next to him, that when he was talking to somebody, if you were next in line, you would go to talk to the assistant, and they would ask you, like, do you want a photo, an autograph, whatever, and charge you for it accordingly, because it was like $40 for like a photo or an autograph or whatever. And I went up to the person, and I was like, is it cool? Like, I don't need a photo or an autograph. Can I just say hi to Butch? Like, I'd love to just like talk to him and thank him for, you know, giving us Fairly Odd Parents and stuff. And the person was like, that's totally fine. Of course. Like, they were like, here's a pin, totally free. And they gave me this Butch Hartman pin, which says, art gives you power, use it wisely. And it has this little cartoon on it. And then when the person who was in front of me was done talking, I went up to Butch, and I was like, dude, I was like, what's going on, man? Like, I love I mean, like, I grew up watching Danny Phantom, Fairly Odd Parents, like, I mean, religiously. I watched it all the time, and you were a huge inspiration on my sense of humor, and I think in my style, and I love your work, man. It was formative to me, and he was super nice as could be, super nice. It was just like, did you go Fairy Godparents and spasm with crazy gestures? I should have done that, but he was super nice. He was like, oh my god, thank you so much, I appreciate it. He was like, are you a cartoonist? And I was like, yeah. It's like, yeah, I am a cartoonist actually. Like he was like, oh, what do you do? What do you go by? And I'm like, oh, well, I go by Beetle Moses. And actually, I brought with me a bunch of stickers, so I gave him a bunch of I gave him a handful of Beetle Moses stickers, including like this one. He really liked this one, and I was like, yeah, I do comics, and I post like cartoons and comics online, and I was like, actually, just recently I signed on to be a syndicated comic artist through King Features, and he was like, dude, that's amazing, like, great work, that's so cool. Like, he was super nice and just cool, and I was like, all right, I mean, it's been great talking to you, like, I hope you have a good day, it's really good to meet you. And then that was it, that was the end of it. So that was really cool, that was a good experience. And then later on, there was a period of time where, like, my girlfriend and I had walked. The convention center is just enormous. So there was a main hall, and that's where those celebrities and Butch and some of these other, like, there was the artist alley was in this like main hall, and then you go out into the other hall, and it was like a long hallway with like 2 stories and an escalator, and like each of those rooms were like, they had like a kids zone, and then like a cosplay room, and like an anime focused spot. Like, you go into each room, there was like a battle robots going on, and it was insane. And like, there were a ton of cosplayers, like people dressed up, and we were just like caught up in the crowd. And so Angie and I ended up going up the escalator, and we were up at this upper level where there was a balcony that you could kind of like look over the railing, and we were watching at the first floor. There was like a group of cosplayers that were all dressed up as like One Piece characters, and they were doing like a pose off. They were all like, doing crazy shit, taking photos and just being silly, and we were kind of watching them for a while. And then after, like, we kind of relaxed for a little bit and drank some water, I were kind of gathering my backpack and stuff and was walking away, and all of a sudden I got a tap on the shoulder. It was like, excuse me, sorry, this is a random question, but are you Beetle Moses? And I was like, dude, I am Beetle Moses. Like, a guy recognized me, and I was like, I asked him his name, Anthony. Shout out Anthony. He said he was a Cold Cuts fan, and he was super nice as could be, cool guy. He was really tall. He definitely height mogged me, so he knows that I'm just a little manlet in IRL. But he was super nice, and I also gave him I think I gave him a print that I had on me, because I brought a little binder, and I gave him also a handful of stickers, and I was just like, dude, thank you so much for shouting me out. And that was it. So that was really cool. That was cool to get recognized also, like, not under any pretense that I was there with a booth or anything, but I just happened to be walking around at this comic convention, and somebody recognized me, which was cool. So fellas, what could Beetle cosplay with ease? Probably that fucking Harold Ramis from Ghostbusters. That's what I always get. And there were a lot of Ghostbusters people there, so that would probably be like an easy one. So anyway, MegaCon was really fun. It was cool. Had a good time, like, just going out there. And then hopefully all goes well with, like, that one was so busy that this one in Kentucky called OMG Con, which is a lot smaller, actually sounds kind of nice, like, to be in a little bit of a smaller space, but also to have a booth, be able to kind of like sit and mingle with people, and not be so like caught up in just like the foot traffic. And so hopefully that works out. I'm just waiting to make sure that actually comes to fruition, but that would be really fun. And I kind of made it a little bit of like goal for myself to attend some more conventions this year. I applied to a bunch of them online. VayCaf was actually the only one that I heard back from, but they did say yes, but I'm not going to be able to attend it most likely, but it would be cool. Maybe I think I applied to like 10 or 11 places, so maybe there's a chance that I still will hear back from one of these that are like a little later in the year, so that would be cool. If I ever go to a con that you go to, I'm going to cosplay as your Beetle Moses character. That'd be so based. I mean, look, ideally, what I'd really like to do, and I kind of expressed this also to my good friends at Comics Kingdom, who I'm with now, I kind of told them, I'm like, guys, you know, I would love to be attending more conventions. I could go there kind of like as a representative for King Features. There's a lot of young people there who I think would be really excited about it. And, you know, I'm young. I want to attend these. It's just like, let me go, baby, you know? And so hopefully that does come to fruition. I'd love to start attending more of them. I've heard this from Flork. I heard this from Bottling Sunshine. I heard this from Chris Wilson. That just like going to conventions like is, first of all, so much fun. It makes everything feel very real, you know, like you get to actually interact with fans and other artists and stuff like in person, which just adds a very like real element to it, which is a little bit absent being online and working. You know, being an artist sometimes can feel lonely, so the idea is nice so that you can actually like bump shoulders with other artists. There's definitely a sense of community there, which is cool. And also that, you know, that apparently you make good money selling merch there too. That would also be really fun. That would just be great. I have a ton of prints and stickers, and I'd love to make pins and other like really fun stuff too to just have with me as merchandise. Would be really fun. So yeah, hopefully, as you know, guys, it's only in April. It will be 2 years. End of April will be 2 years of Beetle Moses. So, all things considered, it's a very short amount of time. You know what I mean? Hasn't been that long. And so, I'm very hopeful about the future. I'm just going to kind of keep, for the time being, going to keep my head down, keep working, keep, you know, doing what I'm doing right now, reaching out to people. Oh, Mesukaya! What's going on, my brother? What's happening? Sick Lindworm, dude. What's going on? Happy Year of the Dragon. Maniac Midget says, if I make Beetle Moses fan art, what would you prefer I draw you doing? You know, you should make him cutting up vegetables, because that's what I find myself doing a lot. I made such a good breakfast for myself this morning, guys. Chopped up some pepper. I know you guys are going to say gross, but anybody who's Eastern European knows exactly what I'm talking about. I am so on my sardine grind right now. You have no idea. They are so based. And everybody, it's literally that meme of just like sardines are so fire when you ain't got a bitch in your ear telling you that it's nasty. Because holy shit, sardines are so good. And I've gotten like way back into them. You get the fancy kind like King Oscar, and this time, whew, in a pan, in a bowl, I mixed together sardines, which, you know, they break down pretty easy. So sardines, I chopped up some peppers, like sweet peppers, pepperoncinis also, those little ones, like the pickled ones you get in a jar, chickpeas, and I hit it with some of that za'atar seasoning, you know, that you can, oh my god. Mixed all that up, fried it, poured it into a pan, right? Fried it in a pan, kind of pushed it aside in the pan, and just cracked a couple eggs in there too. And then once those were like sunny side up, ready to go, put the whole thing into a dish. Guys, it's called fisherman eggs, really, is like the recipe. But you're supposed to make that in an oven, and this one I kind of did like pan fry. Bro, I'm going to make it again tomorrow. It was so amazing. You can cook it, you can draw, what can't you do? I'm not really a good cook, honestly. Oh, Vonnie, first time chatter, what up? Wow, you're just an ordinary guy. I thought you would be like a beetle. He can't miss. Dude, I'm telling you, if you don't mind, first of all, if you've never had sardines, King Oscar is a great place to start. But like if you like just like tuna salad, or if you're not like afraid, if you like seafood and fish, what is stopping you? First of all, it's so good for you, high protein, low calorie, low fat. There's no mercury, very low mercury content compared to things like tuna. Omega-3, did I say that? They're so good for you. Savory breakfast is where it's at. That's 100% true. And it came out so fucking good. I love salmon. I've been eating them, with bagels and cream cheese. Fish for breakfast, it sounds, I think to so many people and cultures, sounds like weird. But truthfully, like, Eastern Europeans get it. American Jews get it. And now, like, the general public is slowly catching on. But holy crap. It's so good. It's salty. It's hearty. But it's light. It's not so greasy and fatty the way, like, even, like, if I have breakfast that's, like, a bacon, sausage. I like that stuff. But I also feel just, like afterwards, it's so heavy. And fish is just, like, it's protein. Oh, my God. I almost want to make it again. Babadook says, I only like fresh sardines grilled with tomato sauce and fries. The best shit. Never had it that way, but that sounds extremely fire. Dude, I'm about to start experimenting with some more recipes because I was just eating them on crackers, basically. Like, that was kind of my go-to. But now that my eyes are open to the fact that I can kind of, like, adapt them into some other stuff. Woo! Holy crap. What else can I tell you? Let me. Somebody want to ask ask me a question. Ask me a question, and then I'll probably I'm close to wrapping here. I'm, like, out of breath from talking. I will answer a question. Holy crap, Lois. Let me think about this. Also, because I probably need to record a podcast with Zachary. Let me think about it. Well, how's the long comment coming along? Do you like Family Guy? Yeah, I love Family Guy. I mean, I know Family Guy is, like, is it still running now? I haven't watched any, like, a new episode of Family Guy in 10 years, but some of the classic ones, even like seasons like 2 through, I guess I should not exclude 1, but I really feel like they kind of got their stride around like season 2 and 3 through like 10 are like super funny. Does your P.O. box only accept letter-sized things, or also you can send me packages? Yeah, actually I was going to get a bigger. I only have the letter-sized P.O. box, but look, guys, I'm a schmoozer, all right? You know what I mean by that? I like to chat. I'm a little, I'm nice. So the girls at the post office they like me. So they told me before I was going to get a bigger P.O. box, and they were like, no, if you get a little P.O. box and somebody sends you a big package, we just set it off to the side, and then we'll put a slip in the notice. I was like, amazing. So you can, anyway, all this is to say, yes, you can send me a big package, and I just get a slip in my box so that it's sitting there. So then I take it to the desk, and they give me my thing. I just got from Shalom Guy. Look at this. I got a freaking record from Shalom Guy in the Discord. He sent me this Candy Claus record in the mail, which is like an amazing, like one of my favorite albums. I think I recommended it in the music channel of the Cold Cuts Discord, and like months ago, like 4 or 5 months ago, and and then he just sent me this vinyl. And it's like a double LP 10-year anniversary. It's printed on 2 shades of jungle green. It says, like, insane. I saw this and I was like, one of the best presents I've gotten in a long time. So that came in my P.O. box. So shout out Shalom Guy. It's an amazing gift. It came in this big box with a bunch of bubble wrap. So I kind of want to install a little shelf or something behind me there. I'm rolling over my shirt. Here we go. That is an extremely based album. Let's see. Oh, how's the long comic coming along? Mr. Universe Squid said. It's coming. So and it's been in the pressure cooker for a while, and what I mean by that is that like I have a lot of the characters and plot and like the vibe, how I want it to look. Like a lot of it is very vivid in my mind, but it took me like a few months to kind of like write down, like kind of it, like really set everything up so that I'm like, this is the tone that I'm going for, this is the vibe, these are what the characters are going to look like, this is the overarching plot. But and I started, as some of you guys may have noticed, I've started posting some character art to my Twitter of some of the main characters. I'm not really ready to talk yet about like the plot. I almost kind of want to keep it a little bit under wraps, although I think some people have a pretty good insight about what it might vaguely be about. But in general, like right now, what I'm creating, what my current like workflow that I'm in right now is I'm creating a pitch deck for it, because one, it'll help me like just why like creating character art is helpful to me, because it helps me see how they move, how they look in motion, and gives me a better like visual reference, mental reference. So creating a pitch deck is going to help me have like everything in writing and ready to go, and it also will mean I'll kind of be able to shop the idea around as I'm actively drawing it. Because Druzy, for example, which a lot of you guys I think have read, was like sort of a one-shot idea, 50 pages, self-contained, there's no dialogue. It's almost kind of like a fable, like a short story that I just wanted it to tell in this comic form. I wanted to get it done for this Silver Sprocket submission. They rejected it, which is no big deal. It's whatever, but I'm glad that I had it done. But when I look back at Druzy now, I think like, I really was trying to get it done in time for this submission date in August. And in some ways that made me kind of, I think, rush through it. I'm still happy with how it came out. I think it's simple and easy to read, and I'm proud of myself for finishing it, because it's the longest project period that I've ever worked on. And but it was also just a really good experiment for me to know that I could do that. This one, the new one, which features these bug characters, will have dialogue. Druzy did not have dialogue. There's a lot more like world building that I'm working on with it. There's a lot of side characters. There's a lot of set pieces and places, and there's an overarching story and some subplots, and like it's like I'm like really putting my whole ass into it. You know what I mean? I'm kind of like, and I feel like in some ways I'm sure a lot of artists feel this way. I don't think no artist looks back on a piece that they finished and thinks, oh, I should have finished that faster. If anything, they look back on a piece and they think I could have spent more time with it. You know what I mean? I don't want it to spend so long trying to world build that I don't actualize it, because I think that's another thing that's like the Henry Darger method, is when you like build, like a whole crazy world and then you never release any of it because you're too much of like a crazy sort of perfectionist. But it would be an ongoing, I think it would be an ongoing thing. Like I wouldn't release it as one book or like thing the way Druzy is. I would probably release this in like episodes or chapters. I think that's something I'm also kind of exploring, and by doing a pitch deck and talking to my syndicate, maybe some publishers, like before I even have it totally underway, they might be able to at least give me some feedback about like how it would like exist, like the best way for it to exist format wise, and that'll kind of help me structure my writing about it. But in terms of story and substance, I have a lot of it kind of like ready to rip. So Yeah, I'm really excited to get like cracking on it. I kind of already am cracking on it, but not in a linear way. Like I'm working on the pitch deck first, and then I'm gonna start actually probably gonna write a script for the first 15 pages, and then start drawing those. So that's like where I'm at right now. But thank you for asking. I hope you're excited. I'm really excited for it. I think it's gonna be fun, and that's also kind of why I've been reading a lot more comics recently as well. Like I've been much more into manga. Like I'm working through Berserk. I'm working through these. I just picked up the fucking, which I posted. Picked up the Hellboy Omnibus by Mike Mignola. It's 4 giant books. This thing is like 100 pounds. It's like the size of my torso. Picked this little number up. Normally $100. It was on discount on Amazon, so I got it for $60. So I got this in the mail a little while ago, but I'm finishing my Art Spirit book before I get to this one. And a lot of that is because I'm kind of like studying. Like I'm reading, because a lot of the art style that Mignola does is something that I kind of want to emulate with this comic. And just some of like the storytelling and world building and the way the timeline works and like Berserk. Like there's like little things that I'm picking up from a bunch of these other things that are helpful to me. And it's helpful. It's more helpful than I thought it would be to read comics. It sounds so obvious. But it's like I said, like when I started Beetle Moses, I actually didn't have an appreciation for comics. Like I liked them, but I wasn't familiar with the world of comics at large. And really everything was kind of through movies was the way that I was trying to like tell jokes. And I kind of figured, comics are like, comics are just easy for me to do, but I want to get, this is really just like a jumping off point so I can get into animation. That was like my thing that I was saying for the first year, basically, of Beetle. Was like, yeah, eventually what I wanted to get into is animation. That's really where my passion's at. And now, like, I'm realizing, like, I have a passion for comics, actually, in a way that I don't have a passion for animation. And in that I love watching animation. I have a great admiration for people who do it really well, but people who are amazing animators really value like just like being able to capture like fluid motion and animate. Like the value, especially of a lot of animations, is being able to create something that can't be properly created, like in real life. You know what I mean? Like. There's a lot of value. I mean, animation is a beautiful art form, but I don't have a passion for creating it. I actually find the process to be too long, too tedious, and not for me. And I think even people who love animation might have those feelings, but because they love to create it, they're willing to. It doesn't bother them as much. You know what I mean? Me, I'm at a point where it's like if I really wanted to start animation, I would have started at this point. But where I'm at is actually I love drawing comics. Like I love drawing them. I love telling jokes. I love breaking things down. I love the things that you don't show in comics. I love distilling jokes down to like simple forms. I like visual storytelling, and some of the goats of like graphic noveling. And like Berserk, for example, is like a fucking work of art. Literally. I mean, it is. It's a work of art. And like Hellboy, like I think Mignola is like an amazing visual artist and like utilizes the format of comics with such love and appreciation. And so that's why I'm like ready to like when you realize that you only want to draw keyframes and no in-betweens. Yeah, it's true. It's like like I think animating is amazing, and I'd love to work on an animation in some capacity in the future, but not as an animator. It's just not my thing. Comics is my thing, and now it feels like I have a duty to actually get good. Like I've been doing the Beetle Moses thing, and like it, with relative success, I'd say. Like, I think it's been good for me, like my format that I'm doing, so I don't have any intention of like changing up what I'm doing, but I also am inclined to push myself a bit harder to just do more. And I think another long form like this that's gonna be the thing. So yeah, really excited to work on that. Frank Jeff C says favorite color. I got a frog in my throat and I have no water. Oh wait, yes I do. Oh my god. I feel like I just have like a coating of dust in my throat right now. I'm dying. Favorite color? I'm on a green kick right now. Normally I wouldn't say green is my favorite color, but I really like wearing green. I feel like I'm using green a lot in my drawings. So yeah, I'm gonna say green. Normally my go-to answer is orange because I do like orange a lot. It's like a nice warm color, but right now I'm on a green. I don't know, maybe 2024, maybe Year of the Dragon is like the green year. I just like it. It's fun. Mesukaya asks, did anyone steal your art yet? Like Redbubble shirts and stuff? I mean, I can't really keep track of it. Periodically I tend to Google Beetle Moses. Excuse me. Like just to see. The funny thing, actually, I wanted to. What the hell? Why the fuck did this just happen? I do What the hell is this? I periodically Google myself because I have noticed that there are like. Beetle Moses. Like there were like articles that will crop up about me that I had nothing to do with. Like they didn't interview me or anything, but people will just be like posting my comics on their website. And like this one, for example, comics to read, and some of them are really obviously AI generated. Like, okay, no shade to this website, but let's just look at, I think we should just look at this together. Okay. 20 Strange Comics by Beetle Moses. You'll enjoy their unexpected twists by Shazib Ali. And this happened just a little over like a month ago, 2 months ago. Okay. They didn't contact me for this, so that's fine. I don't care. I guess like if they have like a crazy reader base that I'm not aware of, like cool, then I guess I'm getting more viewers. But I do feel a little bit like this is an AI generated article. You guys can tell me what you think, if that's true or not. Depending on the context, the term strange comics could apply to several things. Well, it's not really a term, not a term that I'm aware of, but okay. It might be a word for comics that by the way, I'm joking, guys. Like I don't care. I know I'm being a dick, but I appreciate that they like my art, but sometimes I'm just like, what? Where do these come from? Like this is one of like, I swear to God, I see these like once every couple weeks a new article like this crops up. They might include, it might be a word for comics that are outlandish, bizarre, or experimental in terms of their plots or visual presentation. This might include works by independent or alternative comic book authors who are not restricted by prevailing conventions. It might also apply to a particular subgenre of comics that focuses on supernatural, science fiction, and horror elements. The genre frequently includes strange character. Are we trying to hit a word limit here? Harris, in bold, that's me, is a gifted Instagram artist. Is that what I am? Put that on my gravestone. Who has gained notoriety in the art world. This is the giveaway. Harris is a gifted Instagram artist who has gained notoriety in the art world for her distinctive and alluring aesthetic. Okay. This is a very forward-thinking article. Has a gift for telling bizarre, thought-provoking, and occasionally unsettling tales that leave readers with enduring impressions. Harris's work sticks out among the other artists on the platform thanks to a distinctive visual aesthetic. I feel like maybe could use the word thesaurus for aesthetic there. You don't want to use that word. That's a once in an article word you want to drop. And a preference for dark, sinister subject matter. Is that true? He has a huge following of 20,000 admirers. This article was written in December. It's not true at all. I have 5 times that amount of followers. Thank you very much. 20,000? This is erasure of like 80,000 people. Maybe they're bots. For his webcomics Beetle Moses, for which he is well known. And it just says advertisements. Okay, and then it says oh Jesus Christ, here we go. It's always something. Harris's work stands out though because it uses its peculiar imagery to delve into more complex topics like anxiety, loneliness, and the darker facets of the human psyche. Their comics, and now we're using they, we've actually covered almost all the bases for all pronouns. Their comics aren't, now I've been referred to as her, he, and now they. So I'm also NB. NB. Their comics aren't just vehicles for shock or horror, rather they're reflective, introspective works that encourage viewers to think about their own insecurities and weaknesses. This is AI generated. That's not even, what, is that true? Vehicles for shock or horror? Rather, they're reflective, introspective works. I mean, it's very flattering, but like because it's very like flowery. But what is this? Shock or horror? Rather, they're reflective, introspective works that encourage viewers to think about their own insecurities and weaknesses. What the hell are we talking about here? Harris has carved out a special place for themselves, AI, in the Instagram art world through their strange and thought-provoking comics, and has shown how the medium of art can be used to investigate the most dark regions of the human psyche. Let's look at some of his most recent drawings. What the hell? The dark psyche? That one line is crazy. That I'm not just a vehicle for shock or horror, but they're reflective, introspective works. Dude, who are we talking about here? Beetle the Rock Moses. This article is embarrassing to hear out loud. Beetle Robert Crumb Moses. Yeah, I think this one definitely stole from another one. Also, what is this smush job on this? Why did they just screech? Couldn't. What did you have? Why is it smushed? This one's normal. Can I be totally honest with you guys? This is one that I look back on with such disdain. I do not like this comic by me. It did crazy numbers on Twitter when I first posted it, and I still get like pinged on. Somebody be like, well, somebody reposted this to Facebook, and it got like 21 fucktillion updates on Facebook. I really, it is like a bane of my existence. I wish I never drew this one. This one's funny though. I will now attempt an anal probe. Oops, I dropped it in there. It's going bing, bong, bong. I remember somebody did an edit of this one where it's like a really, like it's a voiceover edit and it's a really long pause and then they hit that like metal pipe hitting the ground sound. This one's good too, actually. I think I was outside myself a bit with this one before the John Wick. This was fun also to draw the poses, which actually surprisingly I don't think I used like references for these, which a lot of the times when I'm doing really dynamic poses like this, I'm usually posed up, and I actually think I just did, like, I can tell by looking at it that I don't think I was actually, these were references. This one's funny too, actually. Damn, I'm so goated, man. That one's good. The no homo one. Who made this comic? Looks terrible. The Ill Mind of Harris. Your art is very introspective. You just don't get the intention of the author. It happens to the best of us. That's why I was playing In Bloom. Did you guys catch that at the beginning of the he's the one who likes all our pretty songs and he likes to shoot his gun, but he knows not what it means. That song is so good. I read this. I don't know what. It sounds so stupid, but I actually didn't think I was a Nirvana fan for a really long time. Up until literally a couple weeks ago. No, literally a week ago when I was on this road trip to Orlando. I was playing. I just was I need to listen to an album. I want to listen to something front to back, and I put on Nevermind by Nirvana, which is not an album that I've ever clicked with or really I mean, obviously there's hits off there, but holy shit, I was it sounds so stupid, but oh my god, guys, Nirvana is good. I put it on and I was like, damn, this fucking rides. And that song in particular, In Bloom, is so good. I was and that the whole, I mean, at least the way I interpret it, I don't know, I didn't fucking rap genius the lyrics, but my interpretation is that it's Kurt, it sounds like Kurt talking about his a section of his fan base that he's kind of dunking on because Nirvana has this very masculine macho sound, but Kurt actually was a very sensitive artistic soul, and so all of these just sort of douche bros that were latching on to their music, he actually probably hated them for that, and I was just God, that is so based. All of these just people, because that's an issue that people talk about all the time, where you have this audience that you don't like. I don't feel that way, obviously. I love my audience, but it's still a cool song. People, it's really not about the audience thing. It's about just people misinterpreting your work, which, or at least that was my interpretation. It'd be funny if I'm misinterpreting it, I guess, but. Let's see. Oh, Sefko said, why do you hate it? I don't know. I'm being a little dramatic about that comic. What was it? This one? I don't know. First of all, I just don't think it's well drawn. I'm being a little critical of myself. It's just I don't think I drew it really well. I think the concept is just very hammy. There was a lot of stuff early on that I was doing with Beetle Moses that was a lot more sort of just reference or a melding of references where I'm what if this character was in this or this character was in this, which I look back on very disdainfully. I just feel it was a very kind of cheap, but I will say the video game reference shit it does numbers on social media. I just reposted that one, which I actually do like this comic. I think it is well done. The one that I just posted of the Up characters with the Kingdom Hearts characters walking in on that Up really sad scene, and that one I think I like that one. That one is well done, but there was still a part of me that when I was reposting it, I was is this cringe video game reference shit. It does feel a little bit the video game reference stuff it feels a little low-hanging fruit, but people do latch onto it and they do think it's funny, and I do think that comic is funny. There's a way to do it well, so I don't want to discourage any of you guys from doing that stuff, but this one in my opinion is one that is I don't know, I just I look back on this and I'm this was something that I didn't care about the Magic Treehouse as a kid. I played Doom until I was an adult. I don't have any emotional attachment to either of these properties, but I just thought it was a funny visual when I drew it, and it did well. But I just look back on it and I'm this is an era of Beetle Moses that I'm so glad is in the past. I just don't think this is just not my sense of humor. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It just felt more I was trying to pander. I was trying to get those sweet retweets from video game niche. You know what I mean? And I look at this now and I'm I'd never draw something like this now. But I mean, whatever. It's part of me. I drew it. I guess it's silly for me to say I wish I never drew it because I don't feel that way. So it is what it is. But I would not draw something like this now. What were the other ones? Let's see. What are you guys saying here? Nevermind is one of the greatest albums of all time. Yeah, dude, that's like, he's the one who likes to gargle. I love the chiptune intros. Yeah, I really like them too. I started doing them because I figured it was a way I could get around Twitch banning my fucking thing because I don't know why. It's like you're not allowed to play copyright music, or you are, or I don't know, but I figured doing the chiptune. I should shout the person out. All of the chiptune songs that I get are from this channel, which is supremely underrated, called Raxlin Slice, R-A-X, Raxlin Slice. And they do chiptune covers of like everything. Every song has a chiptune cover. Everything. And they're so good. And so I usually download them off of there. I actually sent them a message asking to make sure that it was cool, and they never hit me back, and I was kind of like, okay, I'm just going to use this anyway. But I should shout them out. They're an incredible chiptune maker, and they don't have that many followers. Like, I just happened upon their page. So Raxlin Slice, if you want more chiptune stuff. That's where I've used all my stuff. That's how I felt about Radiohead for a while. You're either a Nirvana fan or you're lame. True. My favorite comic has to be the seal and Shark making out. Yeah, that's definitely one that I look back on fondly. Like, there are some comics I'm looking at them. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not prideful about it, but like when I look back on my profile, I do feel a sense of pride in that. I'm just like, wow, I cannot believe I drew all of this stuff. You know what I mean? Like when I'm scrolling through my Instagram, for example, I'll just be like looking through my own page, and I'm like, I can't believe that it's crazy how much stuff is documented on here because I've just drawn a lot. You know what I mean? And like, I think for that reason, I don't know, that like that's why I don't have regrets about drawing a lot of this stuff. But sometimes I do have those comics, like the Shark and the Seal, for example, where I'm like, I do feel like I was cooking with this one. Like, just I was like a little bit outside myself. Either the idea was funny or the execution was really well done. And they're not all of them are like that. I'd say maybe only like as high as like 20% of the comics that I make, even that feels high. Maybe closer to like 15 feel that way, where I'm like, this is really when I was like cooking, like I really had a good idea here, or I did it well. And yeah, it's one that I like. Let's see. That one is my favorite too. Or the shrimp in the storm going yippee. Yeah, that one's fun. That one needs a redraw because it's old. But yeah, I like that one too. I like the comic where the guy gets... Oh my god, this is an old as hell one. Dude, Dolphin Dots is an OG Beetle fan. I like the comic where the guy gets grabbed by the pterodactyl on the ass and makes the face where and then it gets picked up. That's an oldie, but yeah, that one's funny too. Sefko says, the art looks great. Don't be too strict with yourself. I like the demons a lot. Thank you. I mean, look, it's not terrible. Like, I mean, if I really thought it was horrendous, I'd like get rid of it. I don't think it's an embarrassment. And you know what? And this is also what my friend Kyle, I was talking to him on the phone. He's kind of my consigliere. He kind of was the one that was telling me, he's like, you know, every Beetle Moses comic is somebody's favorite, even if it doesn't do numbers. There's enough people with eyes on it now that, and it's true, I do get people messaging me occasionally, and they're like, please, can you put, like, you know, the comic where the guy gets his ass grabbed by a pterodactyl, can you please put that on a print? I've been waiting for 1.5 years. And I'm like, this one? Why? This? You know what I mean? You never know what's going to click with people. So that's also why I talk about, somebody was asking, I forget who it was earlier, but somebody asked about running out of ideas. But that's where I'm at right now, is like, I try not to restrict myself too hard, because as time has gone on, I've become a little bit more particular about what ideas I want to actualize and what ideas hit the editing room floor. But I'm trying to kind of like, let me draw these ideas, even if I just think they're a little bit funny, because who knows, it could be somebody's, you never know, maybe it'll be somebody's favorite. I still have to be somewhat passionate about it, but more man tits needed. Like mine or in the comics? What does this say? Worst is when real gamers call you out on being a fake gamer. You know what's funny? This comic, this one, the Miss Frizzle comic here, did get a hater comment on it that I like blew out of the water on Twitter because he was like, I really remember this so distinctly, but he like quote tweeted me and he was like, "This is why I hate webcomics. This shit is so lame. It's just a stupid, like unfunny, uncreative idea." Something like that. Something that was like way over the top, way too fucking rude. And then he also commented alongside with the quote tweet. He also commented something else on the thing, and he was like, "What's the joke here? Why would this be funny? Why is this supposed to be funny? Just being a massive prick." And I was like, and it wasn't like a 0 follower throwaway account. Like it was just like a guy that was just being like a fucking huge douchebag. And I was like, it's funny now because I actually don't like this comic. So he was kind of right, but I remember responding or like, yeah, replying to him and just being like, "Shut your bitch ass up." And I got 6,000, handed me the key to the city, and the guy like literally, I think he like deactivated his account. Like it was brutal. He should have never stepped to me. But he was right. This comic sucks. I don't like this comic. I don't think it's that funny, and I do think it's a cheap, like, I just don't think it's very, I don't think it's that creative. So, rip to that guy. I literally remember his was like Andrew something, or I don't even know what. He's still an idiot. Like, he was being way too fucking mean. Like, you don't like it, just fucking scroll. And also, the reason I reacted that way was because, like, it's still how I feel, and part of the reason that it's hard for me to not take some certain criticisms personally. There's some people that are just like, "This isn't funny," and I'm like, okay, whatever. You don't think that's funny? That it's okay. Not every joke is for everybody. But when I get the accusation of being lazy, that gets under my skin because I'm like, I am literally doing so. I have literally put my whole pussy into this. Like, are you serious, man? Please, do not tell me that I'm being lazy. So that's why I flipped out on that one dude, because he was saying I was being lazy. But he kind of meant the joke was lazy, which is true. So, sorry, Andrew, wherever you are. I hope your account got activated again. It'll be alright. Let's see. Have you ever read Dorohedoro? No. Dorohedoro? I don't know how to pronounce it. It has one of my favorite art styles of all time. I think you should try it out. Yeah, I never read that one. I know that one has been recommended to me, like when I'm talking about getting new manga, and it's absolutely on my, honestly, like, it's funny to even say something's on my list, because like everything's on my list. I'm just trying to like consume comics, like just eat comics now. But I have so much on my reading list right now. Like, I would like to get to Dorohedoro, but I gotta work through like a few more of what I'm doing. I gotta work through more of Berserk. I gotta read this Hellboy comic. So anyway, where were we? Oh, this one, Red Lobster. What do you mean you're not hiring? This one's pretty funny. That's all right. Not one that I would have included in this AI generated article, but it's okay. This one was good. This one actually got a better reception than I was expecting because it's a little on the niche side. Like, this is super hot. It's not like referencing Super Smash Bros. Or like like a really big game. Like, this is more of a, not as many people I think are aware of this game, and it still did like really well, I want to say, on social media. Maybe sometimes that's what it feels with like when you get into some niche territory. Like, honestly, there's a certain level of niche that actually is like a good spot to be, because then when people see it, they're immediately gonna like share it with their friends because they're like, "Dude, look at this." Yeah, me if I wasn't super hot. Yeah, that's a good one. That was a good one. And also, here's a signature Beetle thing. Super Hot was big. Yeah, it's true. It was big for a while. I mean, I'm not saying like, have you guys ever heard of this Super Hot? It's a very small game that not many people have heard of. But I do mean in the grand scheme of things, like drawing comics, a lot of people do go for a more like relatable route. It's also the reason that a lot of people do draw, like all the web comics are like blobs. That's like the blobby web comic. And because you're supposed to be able to like relate to it or impose yourself on it easier, which I actually think is really like played out. There are a lot of artists that I like that do that, and so I don't want to throw shade at artists that do that. But when I'm looking at new artists, like the new generation, I actually think like, if you want my total honesty, I feel that one of the reasons that Beetle Moses kind of like took off in a short amount of time was because of an oversaturation of the really simple webcomic styles, and my stuff is not complex, but it's like, it's not the hashtag relatable stuff, so like I think people could look at it with a fresh face, whereas like if you're trying to get clicks for some of that like relatable comics, it's a little played out. I think it used to be a really good way to get engagement, and now people aren't really going that route. Like, people aren't biting on that anymore. It's just a fashion trends, you know what I mean? Like, things change over time. And even a lot of the artists that were doing that kind of, like, blob person, relatable webcomics, I see in their work, they've changed the formula a bit. They're doing stuff that's a little bit more just, like, niche, like, just jokes that aren't, like, relatable. So... where was I going with this? Can't remember. Oh, that's what I mean about like just like making like a little niche joke like this. It's a little bit of a risk in the sense that it's like if my followers don't know or they don't see this comic, the people who know who Super Hot is, it may never leave my page. You know what I mean? And then nobody sees it. So I don't know. But Super Hot does. Fuck. Freddie Wong did a viral video I did a video about it that was pretty viral about it. Yeah, and funny enough, Freddie Wong follows me? We're like mutuals? I've never talked to him. But he follows me, I think, on Instagram and Twitter. And he's really funny. I don't know what he's up to these days. Like, I think he maybe has kind of... I don't know if he's retired from YouTube or he's tapered off or he's just doing some other, like, film work. But he was awesome. Me and my friends used to watch Freddie Wong all the time. Like, he was doing it back when, you know, YouTube was still in like it was in a completely different era than it is now. And yeah, he's goated. He's super funny. I'd love to communicate with him. And I guess I should just reach out, but you know, I'm kind of shy. Two-seater. Maybe we should have gone with the suit. He would have wanted it. Yeah, this was a good one. It was a banger. You know what I like about this one? I think I like the Tarantino looking up from the coffin angle that I did with this one. I think this is a well composed image. Yeah, this one was good. One Punch Man. This one was good. I don't know if I like how well I drew this one. Like, I'm not crazy. Yeah, I'm not crazy about this frame, honestly. It's kind of funny. I think funny concept. Maybe like a 6 out of 10 execution. It's not terrible. This one, this sucks, bro. And they canceled this. That's funny. They didn't include a number 11 for that one. This one, I don't think it's like a bad one, but I do also feel like I didn't see it beforehand, but I did see also like a lot of. This joke was also kind of like an overdone joke at this point. Like, it felt fresh when I did it, but now I look back on this and I'm like, like everybody was making this joke. Now this is the whole thing. Is Dave Chappelle and Roseanne Barr and all these other stupid fucking, you know, I got canceled. Let me do a comedy special about how I got canceled. No one gives a shit, bro. But now it's like even making fun of them for it is like old hat. Moisturizer, perfect bro. Yeah, this one was funny. I just like that face. I want to draw a lizard like that. This one. This one went like giga viral too. And another one that I had people sending me that they saw it reposted all over the place. It was definitely a little bit... Oh my god, I didn't even read the commandments on this one. That's how long it's been. I just forgot about that until... Oh, if the Beetle ain't splitting the seat, don't even call me to the function. Hot Paper Comics in the chat. There's a celebrity sighting in the chat, baby. What's happening? What are we doing? Hey, where the cumbias at? How the hell are you, B? What's going on, Blue Demon? What y'all up to, guys? A little wave of people. What's going on, chatters? Hot Paper, how you doing? We were just talking about web comics a little bit. We're scrolling through an AI generated article that we found about Beetle Moses, so analyzing some of my old work. I will say a little bit, I think I was outside myself a bit with this one too. This was one of 2 comics that I can think of off the top of my head that the concept never made it even to my notebook, because I had the idea like while I was taking a shower, and I was like, I gotta draw this right now, and I literally like got dried off, got out of the shower, and I drew it and posted it like all in one go. This one and the Breaking Bad bowling pin one are the only 2 comics I think that I did, which funny enough are both ones that went like giga viral. But they were like as soon as I wrote it, or as soon as I thought the idea popped into my head, I was like, I have to see this one through. So, and then they kind of went crazy. So yeah, this one I think came out really well. I like the way it's composed. I know I've mentioned this on a stream. I think like a stream a long time ago when I was talking about this comic. I cannot get this frog out of my throat. I'm sorry, guys. I think on a stream a long time ago when I was talking about it, there were some people that were hating on it because they were saying the composition didn't make sense because in the last frame Pearl is missing. But it was one of those, like, I knew it when I was drawing it, that I knew that when I was drawing it, but like I know I used this exact, I kind of in my head canon she like ran away, but like I've used this analogy before, and I do not know, I still have not found the origin clip. So if anybody out there who's listening knows the clip that I'm talking about, or is able to do some detective work and find it, there is a clip where they're not interviewing Michael Jackson, but they're interviewing like one of the producers who was in the studio with Michael Jackson at some point. Like it was a documentary about Michael, and they were interviewing one of the like record producers that was in the studio. It might have been Quincy Jones or I don't know what. And there was like a clip that they're talking about where Michael was reading something where he's supposed to say like, you know, he's supposed to say like, that spaghetti tastes amazing in the song or whatever, but he goes like, amazing or something like that. And like I think that whoever was his manager or something was on the microphone and was just like, Michael, you're not saying the words. Like he was saying something that was like grammatically incorrect, not the correct thing. And Michael was being the musical, prodigy, love him or hate him, Michael being the musical prodigy genius that he was like, it's not about like you're not getting it. I'm doing that because it's for the music. Like I'm saying it that way, or I'm skipping that word or that syllable because it fits better. It hits the beat right. Like I'm feeling the music. And they ended up going with that take, and then whatever song it was some major, triple platinum hit. But it's that concept, the analogy being here, where it's like, yeah, Pearl is absent. Not to compare myself to, I'm basically the Michael Jackson of webcomics. The idea rings true a bit in like art, where like not everything. And sometimes you can kind of like, just like nudge things in a way that isn't like fully explained, but for the sake of the composition it might be worthwhile. And like this was an occasion where I felt like having Pearl in frame would dilute the punchline. It would take away from this final image. And even though it doesn't really make sense that she's vanished, or there's not really any explanation for it, it was like an artistic liberty that I was conscious of taking so that the final panel just hit harder. So anyway, something to keep in mind maybe it cut the fat. Yeah, I guess that's the way to put it. Like, sometimes it's worth taking little kind of like Beetle Moses, the Michael Jackson of new Netflix special. Yeah, definitely in webcomics, and not necessarily in comics by and large, but like webcomics, which is, by the way, I talk very in depth about this there's a Comics Kingdom on Spotify, maybe Apple Podcasts too, but definitely on Spotify. If If you look up Comics Kingdom, there's a podcast appearance that I just did on there a few weeks ago where I talk very in depth about webcomics as like a career and an art style, and like at least my opinions on them. So if you'd like to listen to that, it's literally me talking for like a good hour and a half about like webcomics, kind of like I'm doing now, but and I kind of get into the thing with webcomics, which is that like part of the thing with webcomics is grabbing people's attention and being able to translate an idea in like 2.5 seconds. I mean, you gotta grab their attention in like a fraction of a second, like a fucking microsecond. But the entire thing needs to be, you need to be cutting down to as few words as possible, honestly, like few words as possible. You need to have as little in frame as is necessary, and you need to it has to be simple and attention grabbing. And a lot of my comics these days are not like that. I'm not as focused, I don't think, on like growth and like clicks. I love getting viral hits and I love getting more followers, and that's great, but I'm really trying to grow as an artist. I'm really like looking inward a bit. So some of my comics which I've been drawing, which you guys will see over the next couple weeks, because now they've been backlogged through King Features and now they're going to be on a slow release. I think some of the concepts and ideas and drawings are a little bit more detailed and complex and probably don't have the same virality or chance for virality that some of the more simple ideas do, but that's I'm aware of that. That's just like kind of where I'm at. It'd be great if some of them do go viral, because I think I've worked harder on those, but that's just a trade-off. Like there's something with webcomics where doing something simple is an essential aspect to it. There's a line to walk. Soulstar, I assumed it's because when Krabs sees money, that's all he sees. Like his daughter becomes the money. No, that's a great interpretation. I think I saw somebody else also say something along those lines in response to people that were hating, that were like, this comic is not drawn very well. Also, the other thing that I saw, this was of course on Reddit, I literally distinctly remember this on Reddit, was that somebody had replied and they were like, this comic would be good, but Mr. Krabs is in the wrong place in the last panel. It should be flipped. He should be over on the other side. Which, first of all, makes no sense to me. And somebody literally was like, here, I did that to see if it looked better, and you're right, it's a better comic. And they like mirrored this panel so Krabs was over here. Guys, 180 rule, guys. 180 rule. I never reply to Reddit comments, especially because I didn't post it to Reddit. It was like a repost and there was no need. But I was like, no, you fucking maroon. So many cretins, man. 180 rule. This is he should stay because he's on the left side of the page. You want to keep him on the left side of the page. The camera travels about like 90 degrees from here to here. We're at a 3/4 to like a 1/4. What are we talking about here, guys? Anyway, haters. When is the Blobby collab happening? I'm pretty sure that ship has sailed. What is Blobby up to? I haven't even seen the Blobby comic. Like, I feel like they were ubiquitous when I first hit the scene. Those guys were everywhere, and all I ever saw was people dunking on them. That's the only times they ever even showed up in my feed, is because people were like, shut the hell up. And I also remember hopping on that wave. Like, I remember them being like, oh my god, they did the one where they were talking, it was about Kanye West, or they were writing off like one of the characters, who I guess is presumably Jewish, was like, nah, I'm not really focused on the Jewish problems. There's bigger problems, or something like that. And it was something like that. And I remember them getting shitted on so hard. And I think I replied to it too. And I was like, all right, Chief, like, what the hell is this? What is this comic? And I think they deleted it, the comic, altogether. So 100% they will never want to collab with me. I would not collab with them either. I think they're actually... I actually think they're one of the most offensive comic creators, in my opinion. Not because the art is bad. I actually think the art looks good. I think anybody trying to shit on the art is like, that's being silly. But if I have to put my hater hat on, it's like, talk about just like pandering, terrible content, uninspired, insincere. There's nothing, I don't find anything, it's supposed to be wholesome and heartwarming, and I just find it to be just like a sick reflection of what gets clicks on like social media. There's literally nothing, there's nothing like human about it. There's nothing human, there's nothing honest. There's no honesty. There's no genuine expression of art in it. It's literally just it's just trying to pander to a specific like political opinion on the internet, which is, I guess, like a left-wing progressive one, which you guys probably can figure that is one that I have. I have progressive sensibilities, but you know, like shoving it in people's faces, or not even that, or it's not even shoving in people's faces. That's not even really what I mean to say. I really mean to say, like, painting these like strawman scenarios, which is something that also right-wing comic artists do too. All the political cartoonists in that vein, same shit. I know they probably all are like, yeah, we hate you. We're gonna take you down. Yeah, you guys are all. I want to put you all on an arc. You know, and just do, you know how they used to do in the old cartoon movies where they take like a bottle of champagne and they smack it against like a boat and it just said like choo sails off into the fucking horizon. Like all of that is fucking horrendous. Terrible. Guys, please, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and say this, like, we don't need more political cartoons, all right? If you really feel, if you're watching this stream and you really feel like that is like just an honest expression of who you are as an artist, I'm never gonna block your glow. I'm not gonna kill your high, okay? But like please, that is just not, if you think that it's a fast track to internet celebrity or clicks or engagement and that's why you're doing it, I'm telling you, anybody who's listening right now, please save yourself, save everybody else the fucking brain damage. Just don't do that. No more. We do not need more political literally, society has evolved past the need for any like directly political comics. I know there's some people that think like, yeah, all art is political in some way, I guess. Gender reveal. This was a good one. I'm proud of this one. I like this one. I think I like the way that I executed the shot by shot. Talk about using like an idea, like a grander scale sort of like concept, and distilling it to like 3 simple images. I think this, you know, I have to sniff my own farts. I believe this is an effective use of the medium. Wait, what are you guys saying in chat here? I missed so much here. They released a clip from the new Madam Web movie and it breaks the 180 rule in the first 5 seconds. Dude, I was just watching a movie recently that they broke the 180 rule and I was like, did nobody... I mean, I learned that fairly recently since I've been doing the comics, but it's like, I mean, if you work on a film, you should know. Come on, man. Like, you gotta know. 180 rule, by the way, guys, if you guys are listening, you don't know what that is. It's like, I learned this fairly recently from another artist, actually, but that, like, in storyboarding and video and film, and generally, I guess in comics too, it should follow the same rule of thumb. You don't want it ever to feel like the camera has moved all the way from one side of the subject to the other. Unless you're making like a really dramatic choice. Maybe if there's like in the Matrix where the camera's going in the circle. But like, you know, generally speaking, it makes it confusing for the audience to follow what's happening if the camera is jumping around. And so you want to keep, like, basically the simple way to think of it is that if you have a character that's on the left side of the panel, in the first panel, you kind of want them to remain in the left hemisphere of the other 2 panels, even if the camera angle is dynamic. You don't want them to leave that side. Just makes it more visually easy to follow. So something to keep in mind. Should have told him that rules are meant to be broken. True. Let's see. Beetle Moses, I just checked your Instagram and all these comics are almost perfectly in order as you posted them around a year ago. It does not surprise me. This is absolutely an AI-generated article. I do stand up too. Hot Paper saying, I do stand up too. I got a few shows in front of 250 peeps. I'd be shitting my pants. I can't do stand up, dude. I'm too scared. Seriously. It's like 30%, it's 30% and 70% performance, 30% writing. I think the last Blobby comic I saw was when he should say that the solution... Wait. Sorry, Mr. Universe. I think you might have a typo here. I think the last Blobby comic I saw was when he was saying that the solution to the Israel-Palestine conflict was to let women be in charge or something. That cannot be real. Like, I almost feel a little bit like they're baiting... like maybe they're aware. They must be aware of it at this point because they get bullied on every social media that they post to. But God, I cannot stand them. Yeah, no good. Redditors would look at Looney Tunes and talk about how Coyote wouldn't survive Dynamite. Well, that's true. The Beetle Tombstone, Instagram artist with progressive sensibilities. Which webcomic will become an animated show next? Beetle Moses, baby, like and subscribe. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I would love to be writing for an animated show. That would be super based. I'm so game. I'm so hungry for some more industry work. Yeah, as much as the industry's in the toilet right now, I would still like to just be able to tell my gram, my gam, my bubby that, you know, I got a job in Hollywood. This one. Plant Snack says, "Hi, Dad. What are you doing?" Hello, my child. What did I fall for it? Oh no, you fell for it, Beetle? Oh no, is that not real? that blobby thing? But okay, I'm gonna pull this card. That's a society problem. The fact that I thought that was real. That's funny. Okay, you did get me. Beat. It was a blobby comic I mentioned was actually a YOLO comic. You got one over your old man, Mr. Universe Squid. You got me. But they would post something like that, so that's a society issue. No cap. Only in Ohio. Dude, check out these AI-generated babes. We don't have to watch porn with real humans. You know what, guys? I gotta tell you right now. I gotta come clean. Now that the dust is settled, I traced these two thick AI hotties. I traced them from an AI and it was an actual AI-generated image that looked like this, and I just traced them. So technically, I stole from the fucking, I stole from the machine. That's what you're supposed to be doing. But I did not draw these. I mean, I drew them, but it was like on my iPad. I like brought down the opacity on it, and I just traced them and I drew over them. I remember Zach saw this one and he was like, "Bro, you have got to start drawing more like thick women. That is so hot." And I'm like, I traced that. Shout out to the Hedgehog feed pics. I also remember people commenting on this one and being like, "I wonder what does anyone have the original image? What did the original image say?" This is what it said. This is what it said. This was not an edit. Traced. My grand. Oh, to be fair. Oh, YOLO did. I know exactly what you're talking about. YOLO did do that. Yeah, he did a good job emulating it. My grandmother mailed me some gummy bagel bites and Lunchables. I don't know what to do with them. That sounds good. Gummy bagel bites. What the hell is that? Infiltrate said, "I know there was no way a human could make fangs that round." Look, I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah, they're sexy. I know artists that can draw like this, but like I always am self-conscious about. Honestly, it's like not even that I don't think I could. I'm sure that I could, but like I just feel weird drawing like, hentai. Sort of the closest thing that I get to it is that honestly, a lot of the times, as a little bit of like, it's funny. No one's like really called me out for it in a negative or even just in general. But like, I do typically, if there's going to be like a girl or a couple of girls in my comics, I try to draw them kind of like a, like a little sexy honey dip as just like it's like a layup. You know, I know that like in general, like I don't make anything like overt or like grotesque, but like, you know, doll and make them a little cute and gonna get a little bit more engagement, I think, than if you just draw like a stick figure or like what, you know, like with dudes it doesn't matter, I just draw them like this, but with girls sometimes I'll try to make the girls look, you know, not always, sometimes. Drift aimlessly, never die. I remember Aaron from Game Grumps, Aaron Hansen, he quote tweeted this one. He was a fan of it. That was also right around the time, actually, I think just recently, he had shouted me out on one kind of Game Grumps stream, which was crazy. I'm trying to remember who told me that. Somebody messaged me and was like, oh, it was hey Momo Draws was the one that was like, I was just watching a Game Grumps stream. They're like streaming a video game and they just shouted you out, and I was like, what? And I went to the YouTube stream or something like that, and I saw the clip that Aaron said something really nice about me. He was like, oh yeah, there's this comic artist Beetle Moses. He's super funny, and he was referencing, because they were playing a soccer game, and he was referencing the soccer comic, which might show up on this list. So anyway, shout out Aaron. I tried getting him on podcast a long time ago. We chatted a bit, but never came to fruition. But I like that guy. He's funny, super funny, and it was crazy. I mean, at that time, especially like a creator of that size shouting me out, I was like, Jesus Christ, like that was nuts. That was really cool. To shout me out by name on stream was big time. I really appreciated that. I was with my friends when that happened too, and I was like, oh, check this out. You ever hear the story about I Love McConan, the guy who sings "Got the Club Going Up on a Tuesday"? You know that Drake does a thing. Drake does a feature on that one. Like there's a remix with Drake, and apparently Drake didn't actually contact I Love McConan to do the remix. He just hopped on it and knew that it would, and like wanted to surprise him with this like remix version. And apparently, as the story goes, I Love McConan or whatever is, that's like, you know what? I'm sorry, no disrespect to that guy, but it doesn't surprise me that he's not really relevant anymore, because that is such a bad name. Like, it's I don't know how to pronounce it. It's too long. You needed something punchier than that, buddy. Anyway, so apparently that guy was tripping on shrooms, and he was with his friends. And one of them saw it, like recommended to them, and they literally were like, "Bro, Drake just reposted your song with a feature." And the guy, because he was like tripping, was like, "This is not real. Like, this cannot be real." And they're like, "Dude, it's real." And he was like crying and freaking out, and he like tears of joy, but just like overwhelmed, because he was like, it was just like it came to a shock. So anyway, my version of that story is I was at a bar with my friends, and I saw Aaron Hansen shouted me out on a Game Grumps stream. Now, this can't be real. This can't be real. You ever got recognized on the street? Twice I've been recognized IRL. Both of them were technically at art festivals, so it wasn't just like walking around, but I was at working a festival in Miami, not related to my art. One of my friends who works at a gallery in New York, they were doing a pop-up show in Miami for Art Basel, and I was working the booth, like their gallery booth, and there was a guy walking through with his girlfriend, and was kind of like looking at me and smiled, and I smiled back, and then I kind of looked back at him, and he was like still staring at me, and I was like, why is this guy still looking at me? And he came up to me and he was like, this is a crazy question, but are you Beetle Moses? And I was like, yeah, I am Beetle Moses. And he was like, oh my god, it's like I thought I recognized you because I follow you on Instagram and your stories are so funny and all this stuff. And I was like, dude, that's so nice. And I actually happen to have stickers on. I always have stickers on me. So I gave him a Beetle Moses sticker. It's like a Ferris Bueller, where I'm like, here you go, it's nice and warm. It's been in my pocket all day. I gave him a sticker, and He was really cool. Yeah, both times that I've had interactions with fans have been really cool. You know, I'm sure there are some creators who can't relate because I got a bunch of nerds that follow them, but all my fans are based as hell, so this guy was cool. And then the second time was just last weekend when I was at MegaCon Orlando. I was just there as an attendee, like hanging out, and like I said earlier, this guy Anthony. As I was like, I was standing in like a quieter area, and I was about to walk away with my girlfriend, and he came up and he was like, "Dude, I'm so sorry. Are you Beetle Moses?" And I was like, "Bruh, Pog." And I gave him stickers, and I had prints on me, and like all this stuff. I kind of was prepared, like maybe someone will recognize me, so I had some stuff, which is cringe, but I was prepared. I got to give him a bunch of stuff. So shout out Anthony. He was really cool. And also, I kind of feel like you have to be at a certain level of Beetle Moses fandom to even know what I look like. You know what I mean? I still get comments that are like, "You're a guy?" Like, I don't think I post face a good amount, but people don't know that. I don't know that I'm like a Jewish guy with a big nose and glasses. Like, I don't know what people picture really. So, oh yeah, here's the bowling alley TV one. This is another one of those two that I was talking about. With you're Jewish? What? Yes. It's funny, I actually don't get many I haven't like I don't know, like for as anti-Semitic as like Twitter has gotten, I haven't really had anybody like come at me for being Jewish, because I'm pretty like, I don't know. I'm not hiding it. I don't really give a shit. It is what it is. Hasn't really been a thing. I guess I should knock on wood. Not that I really care, but I know there's some other people who aren't even Jewish that are like, you're Jewish. And for some reason that hasn't happened. Maybe it's because I'm a little bit more just like laissez-faire. So anyway, yeah, this was the other one alongside with that Mr. Krabs one that I was talking about. That was like I was drawing in I was in the shower, literally. I was at, both of them, it's the same story. I was in the shower, and the idea popped in my head, and I didn't even write it in my notes. I literally got out of the shower, dried off, and drew it and posted it all in one fell swoop. And this one and the Mr. Krabs Pearl OnlyFans one both went viral. So, sometimes you just know. I don't know. Sometimes you just know. And those were both times. And here we go. I gotta bring the banner that somebody sent me and hang up the war badging on the wall behind me. I've been meaning to do that. It's my parents' house still. At the old set. Any other Jews in the chat? Rise up. I get high as fuck and Beetle Moses reposts my art. What? Oh yeah, that's talking about your I love my Conan moment. I gotta get that war bad banner. That shit was so dope. You want to come to my bar mitzvah? Yeah, I haven't been to a bar mitzvah in years, but you know, back in the day, I'm also from South Florida, so there's like a lot of Jewish people out here. So I went to a lot of bar mitzvahs. I didn't have a bar mitzvah like the ones you see in movies. Actually, like my parents as my like bar mitzvah thing. It's actually really fun. They took me and like 5 or 6 of my like homeboys when I was still in middle school to Disney, and they were like, they got our tickets and they were like, go ahead, go in, and it was so dude, highlight of my life. It was so base. My parents were so real for that. It was so fun. I went to some of those like bar and bat mitzvahs. I don't know if you guys have been to bar mitzvahs, but like it's kind of a meme that a lot of them are like extremely ostentatious and like ridiculous, over the top. Like some of my, you know, like, well, basically here's the story. My dad is a teacher, or he's a teacher at a private school, and so I attended a private school all from like first grade all the way through 12th grade, the same school. And because it was because my dad worked there, I got to go there, but I don't think we necessarily would not have been able to afford to go there if my parent wasn't a teacher. As a result, a lot of my classmates were extremely well off, you know, like growing up, like they were like, you know, rich, Parkland, Boca Raton. And so some of the bar and bat mitzvahs that I got invited to were like, I'm sure you can imagine. I remember one girl getting carried out. It was like a Persian themed bat mitzvah, and she got like carried out on one of those like beds that are like held by 4 muscular guys, and they're like, hey yo. And meanwhile I'm like 12, and I was just like, Even at 12, I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. It's fun. Type of stuff makes me proud to be Jewish. That shit is so ridiculous. Oh, dear God. Anyway. Yeah, this is the iconic, #iconic, War Bad. Definitely slightly outside myself. This panel I would redraw. It's funny, side by side. Middle panel is one that if I could do over, I would. I think I just could have drawn all of these guys better. I don't love the way that any of them... It translates, you know who they are, I guess. I don't love how they all look. Meanwhile, bottom panel, I think this is actually one of the most effective panels I've ever done. I really like this one. So, I don't know. I think this is the final one's what sells it, really. But, yeah, this one... In a good way, it's a friendly ghost, but it haunts me to this day. I still get people reposting this, talking shit. I see people hating, you know, all kinds of crazy shit. It's just what it is. What the hell is this? Do you want it or not? This one's pretty funny. I like this one. Good comic. Well done. I think well drawn. I like that. I think it's well executed in the way that it shows the close up here. JJ's face is funny here. Oh, I reposted this one kind of recently. I have to pee so bad, guys. Can you hold for a second? I'm gonna keep going through this, but give me 1 minute. Okay. Look who I got with me. Oh, the mic was hot? Oh, I wasn't really doing anything. I was just talking to my dog because she's been so lazy all day. And now all of a sudden I just stepped out of the bathroom and she was like off the wall, like jumping around, going crazy. Oh, hot paper's gone. Gotta go let Beetle know he's an angel. Look at this. This is my best friend. Oh, she stinks. Her breath stinks. Beat it. Anyway. Esteemed co-host. I literally was just talking to her in the hallway because I was like, you've literally been, I tried opening the back door, like, come on, you gotta go to the bathroom. I'm giving her food. She's not doing anything. She's been lazy for like 48 hours. She was the same way yesterday too. Completely lazy. And now all of a sudden I'm out of here and she's going nuts. Anyway. The body is hours old. The killer could be anywhere. Detective, look. This one's well done too. I like this one. This was one of the ways that I try to implement, like, if I need a fourth panel. Like, in this case, I needed 2 visuals that need, you know what I mean? I always am, like, restricted. I restrict myself to the 3-panel thing, but this was kind of like a cheat code that I used to insert the thing. Oh! Astral Erection! That's a hell of a name. Subscribe with Prime! Let's go! Thank you for the Prime subscription. Alright, come on, chat. Who else has got a Prime subscription? And I'm out. Let's go. Just kidding. You know, something else that I like. You want to know a surefire sign that I'm reposting a comic that's something like old or something? He's not kidding. The one with the snail and the birthday party is so cute, though. Yeah, you know what, guys? I just made some new prints of that one. It was out of stock on my site, and now I just made a bunch of them. So if you wanted to, I'm sure that's on this list somewhere. I made the bed bugs one too. Check it out. I got my big book of prints. Bed bugs. Still got. I got some more in here. Got eel prints. This one actually is one of my best sellers. I think people really like the monkeys. I got those on lock. And then the snail friend one. Where is that? Shrimp. There it is. Came out really nice too. It's something with the printers. Like they've been cooking recently. They just have like really super vivid colors. I don't know if it shows up that well on camera, but yeah, it came out really nice. So anyway, those are all there, and you get a free sticker with a bug on it as well. Okay. Anyway, surefire sign that there is a Beetle repost afoot is when the word bubble is not filled in any color. I always fill them in a color now. I just think it's more visually, it's easier on the eyes. It's not like a crazy rule of thumb, but like I do like it better. How do you make stickers? I do stickers a bunch of different ways. Zach and I actually have like a connection. It's technically Zach's connection that I'm sort of muscled my way into. That we get stickers at like a crazy discount through a company like a small company that he knows from when he lived in LA. So these, and they're crazy quality, and they're like big stickers, and they're really nice. So I usually get them through there, but I've also gotten through like Zug Monster runs really good sales, and they do stuff. All the turnaround time on sticker I find is just really long. Like honestly, when I order something, I have learned to not expect it for like a month. So if I find that I'm getting a little bit like low, I'm like, I gotta place an order right now. But luckily I have a bunch now like that I think will carry me through for a little while. Do you DIY your prints? I don't. I use a print shop. Like I don't do them myself really. I find that they come out really good quality, but I would like to start doing some like lithograph style. And I just met somebody really cool who lives in Miami who does that. Like he's actually like a screen printer and like lithograph like artist. And I'd like to get more into that because I think they're cool. The Drippy Dobby one is so good. Yeah, I have that in prints too. I've never been a sticker guy, but I respect the grind. Never want to waste them by putting them somewhere stupid. It's funny, I'm that way with stickers too. I keep them like way longer than I should. Make your problem everybody's problem. I was thinking about reposting this one. I don't love the execution. I feel like I could redraw it maybe, but I like the idea. The idea is good. I just don't love. Maybe I will repost it. It's a good one. Let's see. Oh, this was another one that did like crazy numbers. I wonder if my old save file is here. Hey boy, remember me? This one, the first time I posted, I think it did like 300,000 likes. It was like some crazy over the top shit. And yeah, I don't know if when I drew it, I knew it was gonna go crazy like that. I just kind of clearly a politically leftist comment. Yeah, that's true. I didn't think it was gonna go crazy mode like that, but I did figure I was a little bit on a hot streak at that point where I had gotten a few other viral ones. I want to say I posted like the Megamouth Shark comic or something, which also did crazy numbers out of nowhere. And so I think like with this one, I was like, yeah, like let me put this one in there. I'm telling you guys, video game references, like I'm not proud of it. I don't really do the video game reference thing anymore. But if you viewer at home are trying to kind of like fast track a little bit of clout on the internet, people love the video game references, man. Like they go crazy for it. This one got hate too. It was like not actually when it first was posted. I don't remember it getting hate then, but it got reposted recently, like over the holidays. There was some trending thing where people were like quote tweeting something that was like repost a piece of art that like destroyed you emotionally or something like that, and somebody posted this, which is kind of funny because And so I reposted it because I was like, oh yeah, I put that up. And then when they, when like that now it getting reposted did crazy numbers all over again. And then that's when the crowd rolled in. Everybody being like, this is gay, this is cringe, this is lame, you guys are babies if you like this is just whatever. And I remember just being like, dude, boop, did I scare you? I'm a job application. Oh, that's it? It was just 20 of them? Well, it's probably a good time to cut now anyway, but that has been the stream. Thank you guys so much for watching. I would like to plug a couple things when they finished the Keith Haring's final painting. That was funny. That was a good troll. Very good troll. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for reading this AI-generated article with me. Maybe we'll do another. Whoa! Yowlitz! Yowlitz is gifting 5 Tier 1 subs to Vicville, Antea, Nightmarished, Gatamaran, and Strawberry Brie. Love you. Thank you so much, Yowlitz. I had so much fun. I feel so good to be back on here. I might do another stream like very soon. That's what up, first time chatter Antea. You thought no one was gonna notice you were here, and then you got a sub, and now I will never forget you. Yowlitz is the GOAT. What more can you say? Thank you so much. What was I going to say? I would like to do another stream soon. That I might do one that's not an art class, but just maybe like playing some video games or something like that, or chatting, because I do enjoy coming on here and talking to you guys. And oh, don't forget to raid someone. Good call. We're gonna do that. Bottling Sunshine is live. Lit. Pog. Okay, hang on a sec. We're gonna raid them. Boo. Don't go anywhere. We're going to raid. How the hell do I do it again? Shit. How do I raid somebody? How to raid. Don't go anywhere. How to raid on Twitch. How to use raids. Type raid followed by. Okay, what's her channel name? What's their channel? Sorry, there. What's their channel name? Twitch.tv. Beetle Moses. Bottling _sunshine. Okay. We're doing it, guys. Old. Okay, all I'll say before I send over the raid, if you've been watching this whole time, excuse me, if you've been watching this whole time and you don't follow me, I'd appreciate a follow on here, because then you'll get a notification the next time that I go live. We have a Discord for this channel as well. If somebody wants to type !Discord in the chat, it's going to take you to it's a free link to the Beetle Moses art class Discord. There's a ton of artists at different points in their creative journeys there. That's also where everybody's going to be posting their drawings that we did earlier on this stream. I'm really excited to see everybody's. I'll be in there later as well to see everybody's drawings. And yeah, in general, I just find like it's great that it just feels. Oh, it's not working. Didn't work. Why is Night? Oh, I actually have noticed that Nightbot has not been doing the thing. Let me check something. Wait, hang on a sec. Why is Nightbot not working? Nightbot. Log in. Twitch. What's going on? Commands. Why is it not working? Add command. I have 10 commands here. Discord. Is it really not working? Why isn't this working? Alright, I might have to figure out what's... Oh, now it's working. Oh no, Dolphin Dots posted that. Where is what the hell is Nightbot doing? Why isn't it working? Alright, anyway, I'll figure that out, but thank you for posting the link, Dolphin Dots. It is right there. Yeah, the YouTube link didn't work either, huh? I have not been paying attention. Anyway, alright, we're gonna raid Bottling Sunshine. me make sure that I'm spelling everything right, because I know that they do it a little bit differently in a couple. Bottling sunshine. Yeah, buddy. Okay, bottling _ sunshine. All right. When I send you over there, please be nice. Please be on your best behavior. They're an amazing artist. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Maybe sometime this week. Maybe next week. Bye, guys. Love you. Excellent. All right, get ready to raid. We're raiding.